So, last time in Renascence, you guys have been putting in some legwork to get a plan together to take down Amelia Quartermanch. And at the beginning of last session, you guys had tracked her to her hotel room, which she had acquired after your last meeting. She transferred rooms. And you guys had a plan. You're going to pop in there, teleport, fly, etc., abduct her, and if at all possible, kill her changeling associate, Miss Sandy. So, the bulk of the session was this encounter. You guys jumped in, found Sandy kind of dozing in a chair, got into an extended fight with the guards inside while Amelia and Martin were stricken by hypnotic pattern. John grabbed Sandy and fucking dragged her out of a 12th-story window. There was a chase up the wall, at which point Sandy had to bail because you guys very nearly killed her. And in the end, you guys got Amelia into a bag of holding and out into the city of Freeport. But with Sandy still at large, Noel, Barnaby, or Burberry, God, I'm never going to get those names straight. Noel, Burberry, and Aloran decided to make one last attempt to subdue this woman. Using a locate object spell to track her by her fancy spider climbing boots, you guys charged back into the hotel, the ground floor, up the stairwell, back to the 12th floor, where you found her grabbing Martin and wrapping them both in a bright red cloak. Aloran and Noel tried to subdue her with the most powerful spells they had at their disposal, and they were able to drop several guards in the process, but Sandy stayed up and was able to vanish with Martin in a puff of smoke, at which point Burberry felt the locate object spell pulling them in a completely different direction. You guys charged back out of the hotel, you guys regrouped with John and Barnaby, and did your best to try and track this woman down, and as luck would have it, you were able to find her. You're pretty confident as the spell wears off. You guys are sort of standing on a hill in the middle of the street, looking down into sort of a wide open plain on the northern side of Freeport, the sort of suburban, sort of manorial area. And at the far end of the street, down in the valley, there is a large estate, lights on, high walls kind of around the lawn, a scattering of trees, and you felt the spell pulling you towards this dwelling. So we are picking up here. It is still late at night, raining on the north side of Freeport. Are there any questions before we get started?
How many stories is this house?
It looks like 3 at this distance.
Okay, and to locate myself real quick, are we talking like Montrose nice or Bel Air nice?
This is more like sort of like country nice. Like you're sort of on the edge of the city where you're starting to get like these large kind of walled off estates, not too dissimilar to the situation back on Daggerport when you guys found that village where Hyde had his mansion.
Oh, okay. So we're in.
You're sort of in like kind of rural part of.
We're in Fancy Villa territory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably like Bel Air nice, but much, much more spread out.
Gotcha. Thank you. I know that's weirdly specific and probably doesn't make sense to
90% of
3 of the people here.
I guess that's true. 50%.
No further questions, I guess.
Okay, cool. So, what are we doing, guys?
Well, I'm tapped.
Yeah, I think Noel's just kind of gonna look at the party and see that everybody's either damaged or basically out of magic.
Yeah.
I'm more or less okay. I ran out of band-aids.
I feel like with classes, magic users are like sprinters and fighters are just freaking marathon runners.
Yeah.
That's how they work.
I wonder if
I'm gonna run a marathon. I'll spill my gumbo.
is it possible for us to stake out that place while taking a long rest? That way, if she tries to leave, we can.
We had this discussion before we left. If we get a long rest, she gets a long rest.
I think we have to.
Yes,
though.
but if it's just us versus her, it's not as big of an issue as us versus their entire party.
You can
Is
try. I mean, I'm not saying that's impossible.
the house guarded?
At this distance, it's hard to say. Although I would say,
Can I roll a perception?
yeah, I'd say give me a perception check, but at disadvantage just because you are like looking at a distance through rain.
It's fine. I'm used to rolling perception with disadvantage. I didn't get these goggles until my first sessions ago.
Also, who was able to get what back on a short rest?
Not 4 sessions. Oh, well, you know what? I'm not even going to bother because I rolled 2 dice and one of them rolled off the table, but the other one stayed on, and it rolled in that one, so there's no point in rolling the other one.
Yeah, like you can kind of make out the silhouette of the house and like the rough perimeter of the grounds it's on. There's like lighting around sort of that walled fence that encloses it, but beyond that very basic amount of information, it's really hard to say at this distance.
As far as who gets what back on a short rest, I get Bardic Inspiration, China gets Wild Chips, Burberry doesn't get anything, and Barnaby
gets back his action surge.
Okay, Barnaby gets Action Surge.
I gave my quick fingers back. They have to take a little bit. They can't shoot that quick consistently.
I did have an ulterior idea besides more murdering of Sandy.
We're open to it.
So to get my little post-it note, I said, try to persuade Sandy to cut her losses and leave Freeport. The Emerald Rail Company has resources to know about Amelia's shady dealing, so I feel like in the long run they're not going to support her anyways. That's something we can tell Sandy. And then, like, I don't know, maybe come to some sort of arrangement with her where, because now she can literally become Amelia, get her fortune, and be, like, rich as fuck. And hopefully we'll never, ever have to see her again. Which is not, like, the greatest thing, but I
think the greatest option is no longer on the table.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to be able to kill her anymore. Because she can obviously teleport, so it's just going to be another... If we fight her again, it's just going to be more teleporting away from us. And it worked very well for her last time, so I don't think we'll be able to...
So then should we just go in now?
I was thinking maybe more of, like, leaving a letter with, like, at the gate or something. Just being like, let's meet in, like, a public setting and talk this out type of thing.
I don't think we even have to necessarily do that. I still have sending today.
Okay. Oh, then we can use something.
I think generally though we need at least an hour before we make any big decisions. I know that if we rest, Sandy rests, but we have to rest at some point. If we run into that mansion, we're gonna die.
Sounds exciting.
I don't want
know
to
what's going to come on the next side.
I'm good. I'm good. Please don't make me go in the mansion.
Lauren, do you still have Pass Without a Trace today or no?
I do.
I think we should maybe... Actually, are we still under a Pass Without a Trace, or is that... I vaguely remember something last session, but maybe that was earlier or something.
Cast it at one point. I'm not sure how much is left on it. Because I think it took us a while to get to the mansion, so I feel like it's probably out.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'm trying to think because you left the chateau in the downtown area following a locate object spell north, and after 10 minutes that spell wore off, and you guys decided to just keep going north because you didn't feel the spell deviate. I remember that, and then you cast it again when you got up around the Temple Viridia, and then you followed it for another 10 minutes to this point.
And
So-
little do we know, they're not actually in the house. They're like 2 houses behind the house.
You don't see any properties beyond this house.
Let me troll.
Clarify information. You don't see any further.
Just break
properties
into a
beyond this.
fancy dinner party. Oh my.
Oh, is this a theme? Is this a theme dinner?
We got clothes for. We've done it before.
The parties have arrived. Yeah. I think we should, if we still have Pass Without Trace, let's sneak
You've
our...
got like probably 20, half an hour of it left.
Okay. Well, let's use it what we can. Let's just find a spot to just collect ourselves for a little bit and think this through carefully. And if we need to take a long rest there, then we need to rest. Could we go to... Would it be possible to find a place, not even like a hotel, like I don't even want to like have anyone have seen us, so like would we be able to find like an abandoned building in like that district where we found the warehouse?
And that is on the opposite side of town. That's going to be probably another half-hour walk.
I mean, we do have another Pass Without Trace if we need it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you want to head back that way, that's fine. If you want to go right back to that warehouse, that's also an option.
I don't know if you want to go to that warehouse, but that area of town was described as very, like, derelict. It makes me think that...
industrial.
Yeah, and it makes me think that maybe there's some, like, side building or shed or small warehouse or something that's just not guarded or just out in disrepair or whatever. Could maybe find somewhere to just put a roof over our heads.
I'll say... Let me look at your passives.
I have a 19.
Your passive perception is 19.
Yeah.
That's a big one. Yeah, I think it's probably not super difficult to find somewhere that looks abandoned, and maybe 1 or 2 buildings you check. It's like, all right, first one, yeah, this looks like it's being recently used, let's avoid it. Next one's like, okay, this looks a little bit shadier. Anything else around the area? No, we'll use this one. So you find yourselves like a little like a boarded up little like a machine shop or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's off like 1 story, and there's like a garage door that you can kind of like have John just kind of wrench up, and you can all kind of slide in. And inside, it's just like a dusty, tables and desks and countertops covered in this cloth and random, heavy metal machines with these wheels and levers and shit all over the place that haven't been touched in years, covered in rust. Some rats squeaking around the corner. Nice and derelict.
Perfect.
You hear the rain pounding on the roof and the windows around you. Settle in for a short rest.
I don't think anyone's going to find us here. Not quickly, at least. Yeah, I think we'll settle in for a short rest. How is our, now that we have a second, how is our Amelia bag doing?
For the first probably 20 minutes to half an hour that Barnaby has been holding on to her, there was definitely some fight. And the handful of times that you sort of opened the bag to let her breathe, she definitely scrambled to try and get out. But given your position and how much stronger you are, it's like she found out very quickly she's not getting out of this thing.
I could have also been like, "Ma'am, I will smack the shit out of you. Stop."
Yeah, I think by the time Barnaby and John regroup, well, not even by then, like probably halfway to the temple, like the bag would probably just calm down and she would have stopped fighting, just gone quiet.
Okay.
Ooh, we can take her out of the bag because he said we can't kill her. Doesn't mean we can't torture her a little bit and use John Sock to gag her.
I can't imagine we have Zone of Truth today, huh, Burberry?
Oh heavens, no! I have exactly 2 level 1 spells left.
By the way, that talk is
And
extra
Zone of
bloody
Truth is
today.
level 2.
What was that, John?
I said, by the way, that talk is extra bloody today.
Ooh.
Oh god, don't say that when I have a mouthful of coke.
What, did you stub your toe or something?
I jumped out of 12-story friggin' building.
Oh, you stubbed your toe from a high height. Got it.
Wait, okay, so I was trying to explain this to somebody earlier, but the fact that every single member of this party jumped out of a 12-story window.
And lived.
I was the only one that did it with no assistance, so...
We're basically gods.
Wait. Oh, no,
I
I
did it
didn't.
with counter assistance.
You're pushing it, my guy.
Honestly, I did most of the damage I took was from that stupid psychic attack.
Honestly, I feel like if we get to kill Sandy, you should totally take those boots, John.
Which
The
boots?
spider.
Oh, the
Flying
spider
gun.
climb? That would be awesome.
Or second.
That would actually technically be handy.
Yeah, because you could be like, guys, I got this. I'm gonna jump off of everything and anything at any given time.
No. Spider climb boots won't help you from jumping off of stuff. It'll help you walk down stuff.
So you can get up to
Let's
the
just
top.
make a feature. Let's just make a feature called Jumper.
There's a spell called Jump.
Yeah.
No, it's specifically for people that jump off of tall things.
Isn't that just Featherfall?
Yeah, that's just parachute,
No, it doesn't do anything about that. It just halves the fall damage.
Yeah, parachute.
So what's happening?
I think we're taking a long rest. This is probably a conversation that's happening while we...
Is this long or short?
Sorry, short rest. Just to get our bearings. Because we can't really do anything until we do this at the very least.
Sure. To keep things moving, whatever watch you say, you are not going to hear sounds of pursuit. You're not going to hear activity around here. It is past midnight and it is pouring rain. The streets are quiet. So whatever features you get back on a short rest and whatever hit dice you would like to spend during this short rest, you are welcome to do so.
Okay, I'm going to spend a couple
How many
probably.
hit dice?
I'm going to spend a couple.
You should have 7d8 as a level 7 druid. So, and every dice you roll gets your con modifier added to it as well.
Oh, okay. Cool. So let's see how many my cons. 2.
Ooh. X plus 1's 9.
4, 6.
Yep. Okay, back to full.
Okay, I
To
spent
fall myself.
back to full.
And again, I didn't have too many scrapes to begin with.
Oh, and look at that. Sounds like Sandy's healing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I hate this.
We have to listen to it. That's the unfortunate part.
Yeah. That's like really triggering. I'm so mad.
What I love about this tower, it's so audible when I roll dice.
So I rolled my d8.
And I've done it, and Shani's looked over and it's like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, no, you do that all the time, man. Like, you've done it when I'm like mid thought, and I'm just like, what's that?
I rolled my d8 for my hit points back, and I rolled 2 2s in a row.
Oof.
Well, thankfully, I have a feeling we're not gonna. It's not gonna be a huge deal.
Oh, I mean, Burberry's not planning on going into combat
Yeah.
if he can avoid it.
I'm also going to make some more bullets as well. Getting a little low.
That's probably wise.
Wait, you make your own bullets?
You don't?
I don't have a gun.
Darn shame that.
I'm good, thanks. I'm afraid the recoil would, let's just say make me a man divided.
Darn shame that.
The image of
Okay.
whoever's on top firing it off and the whole thing falling over with just the bottom guy standing there looking confused.
John is back to full health and still has a couple of hit dice left.
Cool.
I have 45 bullets.
What the hell was that?
Last me a bit.
I didn't heal enough.
Well, guys, she's at least level 3.
She better be. She had like 150 hit points.
Well, don't forget to count the number of healing potions that she was drinking.
She chugged a shit. She chugged everything in her inventory.
Don't tell us that!
I was gonna say she had several healing potions. It's unusual.
She had a lot on her.
Although I guess she was being backed by nobility, so that kind of makes more sense.
So, over the course of this hour, anything that you want to accomplish during the short rests, aside from recovering?
I guess as we move to the end of the hour, I think I would probably just say also, like, I'm not sure if we can be proactive tonight. John is right, we could take a watch around the mansion to see if we catch Sandy leaving, but even if we did, I mean, she'll be just as recuperated as the rest of us, and getting into more fights in the streets seems like it might look even worse.
Sounds as good a plan as any.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to ideas, but at this point, we kind of are on the back foot, and anything we do is going to be pretty risky going forward. If it was up to
And we
me,
might as well risk it.
what would you want to do, Barnaby?
Strike while the iron's hot myself.
I mean, I'll say this. You are in pretty good shape, and I suppose the rest of us have a decent amount of health left, but when it comes to magic, we are pretty much tapped at this point. So if anyone goes down, I don't know if they're coming back up.
So the alternative is we wait till tomorrow and she's back at full, and so are all her cronies.
What kind of spells did she use? Did she use any spells that she would be out?
I
Like,
don't
what
think
about her
she
teleportation?
does magic. I think the teleportation was tied to her cloak.
Well, she did it.
She did it
Twice?
once.
I'd
Yeah.
say you want to make some Arcana checks. Anyone who interacted with Sandy during the combat, go for it.
Oh, I got a 19 plus probably nothing, but
I have a +6 in Arcana, she thought. It'll
I
be
got
fine, she thought.
4.
19 plus 1.
That's the highest roll.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, John's like, yeah, I mean, it was clearly magic. Burberry concurs.
She did poof.
Aloran, thinking back to the fight, you did not have a great vantage on Sandy for the first half because you kind of ran into the main room, so you didn't really see the fight between her and John initially. But then you saw her running outside of the building, and you were like balancing the room versus the window, trying to get the lightning strikes to hit her. when she vanished, I think you would be pretty confident that that was probably something akin to a Misty Step. It's a spell you'd be familiar with, I think. It's not super high level. And I think the shadow blade that she was able to conjure to hand, while you are not necessarily familiar with any kind of magic like that, that did appear to be another spell, considering from John's description, she lost concentration of it when she hit the ground. And would have had to conjure a new one with another spell casting.
Okay, so she does have some casting going on.
My question is do we still want to try to attack her and kill her?
At this point, I think if we do, we're restarting. Functionally.
I'm just worried about what else is in that house if we do even attempt to go attack her.
Me too.
That's my big concern. It's like I think we probably, with all of us on her, could probably kill her. My fear at this point is like all the unknowns inside that house.
Yeah. I mean, if it's like a Calabaya, stronghold or house with a lot of guards or whatever going on inside, it's not just going to be us versus Sandy. That's potentially a lot of reinforcements.
You'd rather have a do-over of what we just did now, tomorrow, or a shot today when they're not as weak as us right now.
I don't know if it is a real shot because, yeah, Sandy's gonna be like where we are, but all the other guards are gonna be fresh. Like nobody else in that house is gonna be as tapped as like we are, including Sandy. That's my big concern. And if they have a bunch of mages and shit, we're not gonna be able to deal with that. And Sandy.
Well, this is all assuming.
Yeah, I just don't like the odds of going into that house and surviving. But that is just me personally.
That's where my head is too. It could be worth scouting.
We gotta look at the other, if we do not go in there and get her, what are the repercussions?
My plan was, I pitched a plan and it's trying to persuade Sandy to cut her losses and leave. Because now she doesn't have Amelia anymore. But she can be Amelia.
That's true.
And we do have knowledge that the Emerald Rail Company found the evidence they were looking for. So we can tell her it's it might not have physical evidence now, but give it a couple weeks, they're not going to do business with y'all anymore anyways. So you should just bail, and then if we could come up to some agreement where she acts as Amelia or something and says that I don't know, we were hired to test their defenses or some shit like that, just some bullshit lie to get us off the radar with the cops.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, we didn't kill anybody, did we?
I think so.
You know,
And we didn't do any damage.
Were dropped unconscious in the final showdown before she teleported.
Can I come up with a really dumb idea?
Did we do any damage to the building?
Lightning bolts.
Yeah, it's probably outside's probably a bit seared and singed, but
technically, we didn't actually.
Lightning strikes on the side of the building.
We didn't actually destroy anything, and we didn't actually kill anybody.
Question.
yes.
So we know where Amelia's going to be, right?
We have
Amelia.
Yeah.
She was going to be.
Yeah, where she was going to be, or where she's supposed to be later, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, couldn't Noelle just turn into her or blow up the deal? It's not like she could fight it. She's in a bag.
Yeah, that thought did cross my mind. I could be Amelia if we needed me to be.
Sorry, that was out of character.
Oh.
That's
Well, that
just-
thought did cross my mind. I could be Amelia if we needed me to be.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, right now, as long as Sandy doesn't blow it up with the police, we technically haven't actually done anything other than disturb the peace.
And kidnap
Agreed.
Amelia, but yes.
And abduct somebody.
Yeah, there's just a minor kidnapping charge to that.
That are in there too.
Yeah, there's
Hardly a
some
footnote.
more than just-
Okay.
I mean, you are right, though. We didn't actually murder anyone. We broke into a room and kidnapped someone, which is not necessarily the end of the world.
And also maybe picked up a small public disturbance charge by jumping out of a hills before he went down.
Damage to private property.
No, don't you remember?
Assault.
John fell out of that window and then got very angry at the people in that room.
Firing a gun 4 times really loud.
So that's 5 charges.
What charges?
I'm just
Whatever
counting
crimes
the
we've committed.
major crimes you've committed.
Which ones?
Trespassing, damage to private property, kidnapping, assault, and ensorcelment are the 5 that I see.
Ensorcelment?
Non-consensual use of magical power on another.
Yeah.
When?
When
Hypnotic
Noel did
pattern.
hypnotic pattern.
Also lightning bolt.
Okay.
Lightning bolt.
Oh,
Technically,
actually,
I never actually hit
compulsion
him.
and battery by evocation. So
I did also
that's 8.
confuse a guy too.
I feel like lightning
And
bolt
I-
is assault.
Okay, wait, hold on. Yeah, I cast a giant spirit guardian in the room, but they didn't have to approach them. That was a choice they made.
3 charges of battery by
Sounds like
evocation, 2 charges of ensorcelment and in compulsion.
Do
As
they
I
have
said,
any way to? Do they have any way to prove that they were ensorcelled or compulsed?
I mean, testimony.
I believe there are definitely corroborating witnesses in this particular scenario.
Yeah, there's a lot of witnesses. That's why I'm like, I think our best bet is to try to make a deal with Sandy because there's a ton of witnesses. I don't like our chances of killing her anymore.
Yeah, we'll just skip town again.
Okay,
If we
what's
skip town
what's
before we
what's
like,
the likelihood that she actually makes a deal with us, though?
I mean, I feel like we've probably almost killed her a few times if she was just chugging health potions. So she might not want to deal with us either anymore.
I think Lauren is right that we definitely scared the shit out of her. Like, she was very, very close to going down. And
What if her?
go ahead.
What if she demands Amelia back?
That's not happening. And then we just kill her.
I don't
so.
see why she
There we go.
would though. Because Lauren's right. She could just be Amelia if she really wanted. That's
Yeah, like, we can
that's
just
a
pitch
way
the-
better solution for her.
Exactly. You just pitch the idea, you're Amelia now, you get the fortune, just stay out of Freeport and we will never fucking try to kill you again. We'll never talk to each other again. We can just go on 2 separate paths where we never have to deal with each other ever again because we
Wait.
both hate each other.
Does this mean that if you do decide to turn into Amelia to blow up a deal, and she shows up looking like Amelia to do the deal, there's going to be a moment where they go, one of yous are fake, without realizing that
Well,
both of them
We
are
could
fake.
coordinate things probably.
Yeah, because I was almost thinking because Amelia's always been there with what's her
Lorelai.
nuts? The Lorelai. One of y'all could be Amelia, the other person would be Lorelai in that scenario. And then you guys can make the story true.
Whatever. If you think that talking with her is going to work, then I'm all for trying it, I guess.
Yeah, I
Worst
wanted
case-
to kill her.
Certainly can't hurt.
Worst
I
case
just-
scenario, we just take another vacation.
Vacation from our vacation.
But the vacation, I think if we take like a vacation without like talking to somebody and stuff, it's just gonna look really bad. And I don't know if we'll be able to come back here.
Yeah. I will do everything in my
Alright.
power to avoid the vacation.
But if we were to be suddenly in a different island and have corroborating evidence that we were there at that time, how did we get there from here? How are we here causing problems if we're all the way over there?
I mean, we could get to Feral really quick.
I mean, okay,
We've been high on Feral all week.
Yeah.
I do imagine that might work in a scenario where I haven't been buying bread pretty much crazily for the last week.
No, I mean, yeah, we've been seen around town.
We've been months.
Half a month.
We've been here for a while.
Yeah. You have been here for a full month of Earth time. And then some.
Still need to get my damn gloves.
Yeah.
I don't think you understand. It's gonna turn my AC into 21.
Well, all the more reason to find a way to stay for a little longer. I could cast
All right.
Sending to Sandy. And I'm willing to do it. I don't know exactly what I'd say, but I really am terrified of the prospect of going into that mansion. There's just so many unknowns, and we keep thinking about the idea of scouting it, but it would be difficult to do. We don't really have any way to go invisible. Lauren would have to use some kind of wild shape, and those are limited.
I have passed trace and wild shape, but Sandy has always been able to like spot me.
Oh,
when
that's
I've
true
done that.
too.
So, like, that's what makes me so uncomfortable. It's like I'm usually the person that's scouting, and with Sandy, I can't really scout without being seen. Which is why I'm like, we could try to scout, but like, I'm sure they'll find us very quickly and figure it out.
Well, there's at least no harm in asking. If that's something she might be open to.
I don't know. I think I'd probably phrase it be like, I think we both had a fun night. Maybe we should talk about.
We don't want to do that again, and you certainly don't want to do that again. So why did we just sit around in Le Chateau?
Ding, ding, ding. Not at the La Chateau. No.
I was trying to think of a really posh French restaurant, and it was failing.
That was
Fair.
literally the name of the hotel.
Yeah, I was like, we're not going back to that hotel until we have like
No, I mean like,
La Flore, the La Flore Cafe.
Yeah,
there you go.
The head chef is a big mouseling man. He's
Oh, no, I got it. Le Chateau de Colombier,
Boo.
which translates to the Golden Dove, if anybody's curious.
Ah, cute.
I did not know that.
I
I don't speak.
In the interest of moving this forward, I guess I'll cast Sending to Sandy.
Basically, what Barry said.
The golden goose? What?
It was
Golden
like,
Dove was,
Golden dove.
you had a bad time, we had a bad time. How about let's
let's
come
not
to
have
some
a bad
sort of-
time again.
try to avoid more bad times.
Okay. Sending to Sandy, I'll start with I think you're a smarter person than Amelia. I don't think either of us want this to get more complicated. You got away,
Twice.
so I think we're gonna have to talk. If I had Rube, I would say it's like time and place.
Okay. I think the response you get definitely sounds pained, but you also are going to pick up a note of relief, I think. God, I gotta let them on eye. All right.
She said, "Oh no."
Oh no.
Oh yeah? Why did you think so? I am inclined to agree. I think we've hit ourselves a nice stalemate. Be a good time to call a little ceasefire. Go our separate ways, maybe. If you're sleeping soon, we could talk tonight.
She's trying to burn my spell slot.
But I suppose the restaurant's not bad either.
I mean, sorry.
So, well, I was just gonna say, like, I do have one more sending, but I really don't want to use it right now. I think we can probably leave it there, and I can get in contact in the morning again.
Okay.
Satan's on the other side, like just waiting, like, huh? No? Damn. So you have a potential meeting set up, and
It'd be really funny as if we tell her to meet us at the warehouse that we.
I was thinking about that.
Like, honestly, I feel like we should just do like a little power play with that. Be like, oh, we know where you were meeting. Just so that I feel like telling her to meet us there would be kind of like a, oh shit.
Okay.
type
All right.
of thing.
Pull for the group. I could use my sanity tonight, probably. Would we rather meet with her tonight or tomorrow? Is there any advantage to either?
Didn't we just leave her a note at the door?
I mean, yes, but it's like a 40-minute walk to get there and back.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, 40 minutes isn't bad.
you do it at the end. 40 minutes pass.
That's true. Yeah, I mean,
Barring complication.
I'm thinking about it like we really have to do it.
I don't want to do that.
We could meet tonight if you guys want. If you don't want, I can postpone till tomorrow, or just not get back to her tonight.
Oh, sorry, I think there's a misunderstanding. I mean, just leave a letter at the mansion.
I know. How we contact her is less important. I'm more just asking when do we want to do this.
Oh, okay, sorry. No, I was just thinking, like, purely for the sending standpoint.
Yeah.
I do think we should meet at the warehouse, for sure. Like a little more power.
I would not do the warehouse because if the idea is to make it so that she's more willing to talk to us, having her meet us at a secure, abandoned location is probably not the best place to start.
That sounds like a setting for a trap for me.
Right.
Fair.
And I would say that we could probably want to do, again, since I am thinking about likelihood of attending, I would say we should probably do it tomorrow because she will feel more comfortable in being in our presence if she has a full arsenal under her feet.
True.
Then let's just go to bed, and then we can contact her in the morning.
We can't just leave a note. Or not and leave a note. We have ways of giving her things without using Noelle's last setting.
That's true. I'm debating whether I even need it. I had an idea for it, but given the way things are currently going, it might not even be necessary right this second. If we go on to meet her tomorrow, though, then I don't think it's necessary to use it. So we'll just leave it there, it sounds like.
Okay.
We'll get in contact in the morning.
So then, anything before you guys hunker down for a long rest?
Probably gonna make sure Amelia gets tied up properly.
I ask how you guys are going to handle the Amelia situation, considering she is presumably still in a bag.
Can we gag her with John's bloody sock?
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
But she kind
Well,
of
what
is.
a funny coincidence!
That's why I said it exactly that way.
Well, I'm not allowed to hurt her, so give me the sock, John. Fine. Fine. Why do we care? It's a bunch of.
Because, Lauren, we're not trying to solve an iron deficiency.
Have you heard our plan for this lady? Like, come on, y'all. A bloody sock? That's the least of this bitch's problems.
I look.
I don't say this
I'd rather
every
she not choke on her own vomit in her sleep.
You wake up, she's just dead.
Yeah.
I just went back.
Should we just like bonk her like we did constantly to Varys and Bloodbeard?
I will tie her up and gag her. Normally.
Okay.
Bonk. Bonk.
Yeah, I think once you get her out of the bag, she definitely looks around at her new accommodations, at the five of you, scraped and bloodied and bruised.
We technically did heal.
You've healed. I imagine there's still some, war wounds and.
Yeah, I mean we're bandaged and shit.
But yeah, she looks around. She sees all of you guys. She sees where she is. She's just like, well, done with it. Noelle, you tie her and gag her, toss her in a corner, set a watch for the night.
Yeah.
Can I say Alone glares very menacingly at her the entire time? Just, you fucking lucky bitch.
I do think after maybe a minute of that, she probably just starts looking at the wall, just avoids eye contact for the remainder of whatever your watch that is that you're on.
That's fair.
So
Whoever peeks my way.
before
Sorry.
bed, Noelle is going to use this sending then to not contact Sandy. I'm going to message the gatekeeper. I probably should have thought about how I was going to say this. I don't know if you can speak to someone in their dreams. If you can, I may have a big favor to ask. If not, I will elaborate in further sendings in the coming days.
I think the gatekeeper's response will be my reach is much stronger in my home world, unfortunately. But I'm curious to hear more from you about this favor in the coming days. Okay. So, who all is going to be taking watch tonight? Or I guess who's sitting out watch? Since you only really need 4 shifts.
I can take watch.
Okay, so that's 1.
I can take watch too.
All right. 2 more.
Oh, wait, that's not everybody? Oh, no, there's 3 of us, right?
I'll actually sit out.
I need
it
to fall
since
asleep.
I am white.
Okay, so John and Noelle then will be the last 2. So if I get the watchers, just give me your perception rolls for the night for your shifts.
19.
19 total.
17 total.
18.
19 total. Oh, wait, no, 18, excuse me.
18. Okay. Pretty tight cluster here.
Who's the 4th?
John, what you got? John?
What was the question?
What's your perception check for your watch shift?
I thought I wasn't doing watch.
Barbary said they were sitting.
I also said I wasn't because the complete lack of spells and hit points.
I mean, you guys get the full
Us-
rest.
I know.
You'll get your full rest, yeah.
Also, I don't trust my rolls.
Valid.
1 sec. Sorry, I was dealing with my mic being stupid again.
No.
You know what's bad when somebody's like, "Man, your odds are terrible."
Perception. 18.
I feel validated.
17, 18, 19, 18. Understandably on edge after the night's proceedings, each of you takes your shift in turn and stands watch vigilantly. The rain continues to pour into the early morning before it finally lets up partway through the third shift of the night. And by the fourth shift, the sun is beginning to rise. The sky outside the windows of this old machine shop is beginning to brighten. And by the time your watch ends, you can hear the sounds of industry and commerce and the streets around you as Freeport wakes up and begins a new day. And your night will proceed without incident, and you will complete a long rest, restoring all hit points and spell slots and features.
We did it.
Ready to tackle the 33rd of Nerith. What do?
I guess I could send him.
Do the thing.
Okay. Sending.
To Sandy, I will say, good morning. We're feeling better. I'm sure you are too. Shit, where do we want to meet? Like, we don't, like, do we want to go out and, like, fucking to a restaurant? Or, because we could be, like, the cops could be informed about us at this point.
Yeah.
Well, we would want a public space. Probably not like open air.
Okay. I'll just say, like,
No, we should all meet at a bathhouse.
spa day?
Sounds great.
Look, that way everybody is stripped and nobody has weapons.
It's brilliant.
Not the worst of things.
I would say,
Except for Lauren, who can't help having a weapon no matter where she goes.
I'd say
I am literally a weapon.
Exactly.
Let's meet somewhere public, but out of the way. Your call.
Okay. You are greeted by a loud yawn. Morning. Well, didn't hear from you last night, but guess we're doing this in person. How's that little sandwich shop we met at?
Yes! Yes, 1,000 times
It all
yes!
comes back to the sandwich shop.
I really go for some analogy right now. And no funny business, right? Just talking. I'll see you there. I'll wear a red hat.
What time? we gotta go.
Give me an hour.
Okay.
She's pranking us. We're gonna walk in. There's gonna be a dwarf with a red hat. We're gonna be like, Sandy? And he's like, who the fuck are you?
Oldest trick in the book.
So what are we doing with Amelia? Do we just keep her in the bag?
I'd say one of us should keep her in the bag and not go to the meeting.
Yeah, I was gonna say someone needs to stay with her.
I vote John or Barnaby.
I mean, at the
I've
very
been
least,
on bag duty all day yesterday. You take it, John.
at the very least, like it's not so much don't go to the meeting. It's more just like don't go into the room so that like whenever Amelia pokes her head out, everybody can see it.
I'm more of a I don't want her to steal the bag.
Well, my concern is that we have to walk around Freeport and then just
Yeah.
yanking a head out of the bag just doesn't seem like a great idea, especially if somebody recognizes us. We can't have them like run away and not pull Amelia's head out of the bag. I don't think they should leave this place at all.
Oh, I'm fine with staying, I guess, if you want me to.
Okay. I think that is maybe our best option right now. And I guess the rest of us will go to the meeting.
Sure.
I am probably one of the most noticeable out of us.
Yeah, that's kind
Well, except for the walking clank factory.
And a half-dressed druid.
that could be anyone in that armor.
Could even be two
goblins in a trench coat or a suit of armor.
That would be crazy.
So, everyone but John is going to this meeting, and John is staying at
Man,
this
I
machine
wish I could wear a suit of armor. Strapping into that thing is impossible.
with Amelia.
That's why once you're in, you just stay in.
So, any particular plans on how to cross the city?
I never wish that I had prestidigitation more than right now.
I can use prestidigitation. Oh wait, no, I can't. I'm John. Never mind. Sorry.
AAA, you're drunk. Go home.
The random AAA just about an hour.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think probably just stick to back streets and just stay out of
Back. All right.
yeah, just stay out of the the way of guards just in case. We don't know how escalated things have gotten tonight.
Mhm.
So we'll just be careful.
Then I'll say give me stealth checks, everyone who is going to the meeting.
Do you guys want me to use Pass Without a Trace?
Yeah, sure.
I'll put Pass Without a Trace. So I rolled.
Unless you want us to know I'm coming.
So 30 total forlorn.
19 for Barnaby.
I do have boots of elven kind. That's a 31.
Hold on.
31. Okay.
I am fishing my dice off the board. Uh, 30?
30. Okay. Good roll so far.
I think that was all of
Very
them.
good roll. Oh. Well then, yeah, you guys are not drawing attention to yourselves, just very, very carefully proceeding north from the Iron Wharf to the eastern border of the Temple District, western border of the Freeholds, right at the foot of the hill where Bellaguate Academy rests. You guys make your way to that tasty little sandwich shop, that little hole in the wall that you guys found, and the last place you met Sandy at. And stepping inside, there's not a lot of people in here at 9 in the morning. There's a couple of Kinku sitting at a table by the window. They're conversing with a myriad of voices. They both kind of pause to look at you all as you walk in and then resume their conversation. There is the proprietor, the fellow you recognize, you bought from him many times, standing at the register and sort of at a table kind of further along, this sort of narrow enclosed restaurant space towards the back near the restrooms. There are a couple of individuals sitting side by side in a booth. There is a dwarf with a very thick black beard wearing a red hat. And there is a very tall, lanky furbolg. Messy, bright red hair, very broad nose, kind of chin strap beard, wearing this fairly nice, like black trim suit, sitting next to the dwarf. And as you all walk in, he looks at you guys. The dwarf looks at you guys. The dwarf gets a big smile and waves. And the furbolg just kind of clasps his hands and watches as you approach.
Red hat.
You found us. Good, good. Have a seat, please. Well, introductions, I think, are in order. So, this fella right here, he'll clasp the furbolg on the wrist. This is Yinro. This is the first son of the pretty light. He was asked by his father to come kind of oversee proceedings. Petyor. Not that he's not eager to meet you all, but security being what it needs to be, considering what happened. You caught the shit out of me last night. I'm not going to lie.
Sorry, I missed the beginning of this because of Discord glitch for a second. Who was this guy that they introduced?
It's the first son of the Calabaya family.
Yinro Calabaya.
And he is here to oversee these talks.
It's a conversation, yes. And
What's
Yinro just kind of nods. He says, yeah, good to meet all of you.
73.
This is 73, yeah.
Like you lot are responsible for some of the hubbub around town today.
Look, it's freaking Canadian.
Yeah, I mean,
Gotta be.
I'll take a seat and I'll just say,
Are all furbolgs Canadian?
In Jacob's world.
It's Canada.
They are now.
I guess I'll take a seat as well.
yeah, we'll
Oh,
get cozy.
do you want anything? I'm going to stuff my face.
By all means, please.
Oh, no, I was offering to get you guys something.
No, we ate before we came, but
For shame.
I've actually got a sandwich coming, so.
All right, less shame for you.
It's like a right place you guys found. It really is. So,
Right, so yeah, after last night, obviously things didn't go quite as well as we'd planned, and probably things got a little
Thankfully.
derailed for yourselves as well.
unfortunately, yes.
Well, we've been racking our brains about how to resolve this. What do the guards know right now?
They kind of glance at each other, and Yinro will lean forward and say, well, from what my men have been able to tell me so far, they are aware that there was an incident with the court-image guests back at the Chateau. The break-in, some property damage. They fled out a window. Court-image guards firing into the streets. There are conflicting accounts as to the description of these individuals, some of which we have seen fit to provide ourselves. If you want to catch my meaning there. And there was some talk of a trio of individuals entering. Not long after this whole ordeal started, some foreign mystics and their big cat.
Lauren chuckles.
Uh,
I really want to
it was said that these mystics left in the company of a Triton individual who is yet to be identified. As he kind of glances over to you, Lauren.
She'll give him little finger waves.
Yeah, it's not cute right now. You guys are in some serious shit if we don't make this go away for you. And I'd like to put this forward now that is within our ability to suppress this. But I'm hoping that we can come to an understanding with which we're all satisfied and we can walk away from this hands washed of this whole conflict. I'm given to understand that your primary antagonism was with Miss Amelia there. Well, I assume you were not brought with you today, seeing as your large friend is not present.
Oh, probably wouldn't have been very smart.
Well, I mean, it's a difficult business you guys have found yourselves in right now, this whole skullduggery and whatnot.
Well, if I may provide a potentially very simple alternative to everything that's going on right now, courtesy of some brainstorming from Lauren here. Sandy, in a way,
I'm listening.
In a way, I think you can come out of this very ahead. We wanted Amelia. And we got her. And you have the ability to be whoever you want.
That's true.
Including said Amelia.
Exactly. I don't think any of us want this to become a long-standing thing. I kind of look over to Yunro. And I don't think that you necessarily will have to wield any power to suppress information so long as Amelia, and I glance back over to Sandy, says what needs to be said to set things right.
Yenro will kind of glance over at the dwarf and back to you. I take it to mean that you have something specific in mind you would like said.
Well, obviously we don't want to be thrown in prison or thrown out of Freeport.
Nor does anybody, really. Terrible place, I hear.
And Sandy, I'm sure you are quite adept at lying. All we need said is something that either removes us from this crime or makes it so that this was some kind of plan all along.
That's all?
I mean, that's all that needs to be said on that front. As far as other factors, when it comes to something like Amelia's fortune, you've spent a lot of time working with her. Honestly, I think we both spent about the same amount of time, given how things have played out.
Well, I hear it. You put in over a decade. I've only been on the job for a couple of months now. But it's enough to get a picture of the woman for sure. She's well, she's not our problem anymore. She's yours, so really sort of a good point. Hey, you're not going to bite me and sit in my lap. So,
You've only been working for Amelia for a few months, is that what you just said?
yeah. No, she got in touch with us about this plan of hers. About 6 months ago, I think. And then we sort of finalized the dealings and got to work. Halfway through month before last. Yeah. So about 2 months ago now.
What the hell? Okay.
Are you, forgive my ignorance, but are you a, I guess, high-level important member of the Calabaya family, Sandy?
Calabias, no. No. Sandy is what you might call a fixer in our line of work.
A hired
Gavin.
hand.
Very competent and well recommended one. And then he kind of shoots the dwarf another look, and the dwarf just kind of shrugs. But one person in the face of a small army is, still just one person. But no,
I think we've misunderstood the situation.
The details I don't think are terribly important to your group. We've got our business interests, and you have yours, and you had business with Amelia, and we can respect a grudge seen to its natural conclusion, as I see it, at least. Even without Amelia present, it's not impossible for us to, at least in the long term, benefit from the proposal she brought to us. We'll just have to,
Is that
work with Martin to.
Is that the proposal with that motor oil company?
I suppose you do know a bit about it.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Well, I think in the absence of the actual Miss Amelia, I don't imagine the original proposal will be what we stick with. It was, I'll be honest, it was a mite ambitious even for me. I think we might be able to come to a less intensive sort of arrangement there. But I'll be perfectly honest with you, and I'm not that I would ever tell this to Martin, but you really made my job at least a hell of a lot easier getting that lady out of this. It's a lot of money wrapped up in it, which is very tempting to my father, but I mean, goddamn, you guys just really, really threw a wrench into stuff. She was all up in arms about it. Oh, my girl's coming back to kill me. She's gonna kill. I can't do this unless you guys are proper. I'm offering the proper protection and just I gotta have this, and this, and just a real headache,
Yeah, it wasn't great for us either. So, to clarify then, what you
Out of
care?
character. Out of character, just because this might help what you're saying.
Okay.
Where our big issue with Sandy was the fact that we thought she was in deep with, what's her face, right?
Yeah.
So we were afraid that she was going to be coming after us on behalf of her, out of some kind of loyalty.
Sorta. We thought that we thought this would be some kind of slight against the Calabaya family, and the Calabaya family was going to be on our asses, basically.
And it sounds like
Okay.
the Calabaya families are like, thank you for taking care of me.
I guess-
And it's like, okay.
My original thought was like
Only that's
we
what
were afraid of Sandy primarily because we thought she was going to use her abilities to come after us no matter what.
Yes, that's true. I mean, we thought that she was tied to Amelia very strongly. Amelia was tied to the Calabaya family very strongly, and therefore we thought Sandy was tied to the Calabayas, and this was basically us sicking an entire army on ourselves.
But it seems like we've misunderstood their situation entirely.
To some degree. I mean, we were right about what Amelia was getting up to.
But Sandy wasn't really tied to her very much. And the Calabayas family seems like they were happy to get rid of her.
Well, I mean, remember, this is the oldest son talking on behalf of his father. It's
Yeah,
you know,
so
perspective.
his dad is all excited about the money, but the son thinks that it's more trouble than it's worth. From my
I mean, they
understanding.
still seem to be able to make the money. It's just now that they've gotten rid of Amelia, they don't have to deal with Amelia being a part of that. And our big thing was we didn't want Amelia in this because we knew how she operated.
in my, again, this is just my understanding because it might be a scenario where they will still make money from the deal, but they will risk.
And we don't have a problem
Yeah.
with them doing whatever they want to do as long as Amelia is not a part of it, correct?
I mean,
The son is happy that Amelia is not involved. It is unknown how the dad is feeling about it, but the son is happy about it.
I think he's intimated that much.
How's Noelle feel about it?
Noelle at this point wants to try and suss out what exactly is going to transpire with A, Martin, and B, how Amelia's everything now falls. Because I'm sure she has a lot of fucking money at this point.
Okay, but our primary concern, Sandy, is basically a non-issue at this point.
As things currently stand, unless someone casts Fireball, I think I think Sandy is not currently a big issue at the moment.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify where we stood and what we understood at this point.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because that's going to really change how this goes forward, I feel like.
Yeah. So I would ask probably then so hypothetically here, we're working on a deal. If we can shift things here, the narrative, so that we are not in a lot of trouble with the local guard, and we can resume our time in Freeport. How does all of this affect the, I'm sure, vast wealth of this Miss Cordemanche?
Well, I won't lie to you. I am not terribly well versed in Miss Cordemanche's personal finances. I think Sandy would be better suited to talk on that. And Sandy's finishing off the last of the sandwiches, drinking the Anjou, wiping her beard. It's like, as I understand things, when we met up back in Zax, they had just done a bit of a stint running north, buying lands, and getting themselves all set up for their new railroad. So I don't know that they're terribly liquid at the moment, but they've got a decent holding. And, plan was to start a train company completely off the table, but I don't think we're stealing the train anymore.
Oh God!
So
You're gonna steal the train? What the fuck? Sorry.
I was
Sorry.
right. It is riskier and more money.
I mean, I won't lie. It sounded exciting when I.
It
heard
does.
the
I mean,
pitch.
out of character, that sounds fucking awesome. But
I mean, Lauren, yeah, she's like, that
Certainly,
sounds like fun, but What the fuck?
That's what I was saying. So it seemed a little sort of humdrum for me until that got floated. And I won't lie. Now that that's off the table, I can't say I'm too terribly interested. I was, she was going to knight me. That was part of the arrangement, We get the train, I get the title, I get a nice castle,
I mean,
But,
Amelia could still exist, just not Amelia.
I mean, yeah,
Thanks,
she could.
John.
I'll. Someone says it. Yeah, I mean, Amelia's an asset we have access to. Look, I don't relish the idea of playing noblesse. For the rest of my life, I've got a career. I've got aspirations. I'd like to get on to the next, big thing.
Okay.
Don't necessarily love signing papers.
Was Amelia's finances very, very heavily tied into the Calabayas then? Is that what I'm picking up?
Oh, well, okay, no. So, I'm a bit close, right? Was like, and he's like, look, I've got connections here in town. I've got connections everywhere, really. I've been doing this for a long time. And just so I can tell you now, again, kudos for last night. You put on a hell of a showing. Haven't come that close to death in nearly a decade. Not eager to do it again anytime soon, but really, I mean, just bloody good show. But I digress. After your little conversation with Amelia, your little standoff, which I was very excited about, I thought something was going to go down, and then she demanded all this extra security and surveillance, and just watch him and keep him out of our business, and and it got real boring real fast. And then you guys showed up, and it got exciting again, and it got scary. And now I'm thinking I might need a bit of a vacation.
Might be recommended to Pirate Island.
I did enjoy Pirate Island, I won't lie.
You've been to Deccanmore.
Oh yeah, we had a great time. That was a great time.
She's got a big smile on her face. Did you make it down to the Riviera?
Oh, I made my way around, don't you worry.
Of course you
He
did.
Yeah.
Listen, next time you're in Deccanmore, if you ever meet the fella, Stephen Pye, he's a fucking maniac. Love that bastard.
We met. Oh,
Did you?
oh yeah.
Ah, you did. I had a feeling.
Fucked him too.
Oh, shit. He leans across the table, grabs you by the wrist. It's like, I thought I liked you.
Is this the?
This is the
This
dwarf.
is Sandy.
Sandy disguised as.
That's what I thought.
Suddenly, Burberry is really excited. Just wearing a mask.
Oh, have you fucked him too?
Oh yeah, it's great.
What's up?
Who hasn't?
I mean, the man's he gets around. Yenna was like, "Can we please stay on?"
We're in the same. Me and Yinra are on the same page here.
Yeah, he's definitely giving off vibes. Just like, all right, cool. I think we're in agreement, but we're dragging this out.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get through the nitty gritty here. Obviously, Amelia's got a lot of assets. I just want to know, Sandy, do you know anything about how this is all going to fall? Is it just all going to Martin? Does Martin care? Is he tied into this? When I knew Martin, he was kind of just a yes man, for lack of a better term. He wasn't really spearheading anything. Amelia was.
Well, I mean, Martin is still around, still kicking, and lacking Amelia, I think there's going to be some work to sort of get everything where it needs to be before I can really step off and we can stage something, leave it to him for the time being, Yeah, Sandy kind of like looks a little leery at the party for a second. It's like, we'll be keeping him, I hope, if that's all right with the lot of you. He's still sort of part of everything, and it would be nice to have at least one person, who's actually themselves in all of this. Make things a little bit easier to get this company off the ground. But no, I think once the dust is settled and all this is said and done, I think Martin will find himself in the front seat of a very profitable shipping lane through the Midlands, and I think he will have some very grateful partners here on the inland coast. They'll clap Yinro's hand again with the Calabayas, and a few of our sister families around Lythor who will be more than happy to pitch in and get their share of this venture.
So I did have a pitch to solve our problems of not being in trouble. Real quick. And it's that you guys hired us to test your security.
We could see what fits. And your pa's dealing with all the fallout right now, isn't he? It's like, yeah, he's got some folks down there talking to the sheriff's deputies and some other witnesses. So this should quiet down pretty quickly. I'm not, no shakedown's perfect. These things, you always got rumors that get out, but I think if we're all on the same page, and I think it sounds like we are, that we can make this whole thing kind of go hush hush. You guys can, get on your way, and we can get back to doing what we do. You do what you do, and that can be the end of it. Yeah.
One last request then. Is there any way I could just talk to Martin? We don't have any interest in stealing him, and it doesn't have to be all of us. I just have some things I needed to say to him.
You want to talk to Martin? He kind of looks over at Sandy.
For what it's worth, if we wanted to take Martin, we could have.
That's true.
I think Yenor kind of looks over to Sandy, and he's kind of like, what you read, you kind of get the sense he's like kind of looking back and forth between the two of you. Sandy kind of like squints, kind of scrutinizing, before kind of nods. I don't think that's a lie.
Well, and she has had the previous, the first interaction between Amelia, Martin, and Noelle under her belt. I
think if you are looking to talk to Martin, I think that could be arranged. If you want to maybe run that by your path, and kind of hems a little bit, but he's like, I suppose there's probably not any harm in it. Just you though, right?
15 minutes.
Yeah, I'll talk to him. All right. You got a good way we can get a hold of you?
Well, if we're not in trouble, then I guess the Presidium.
Yenner just kind of wrinkles his nails like, ugh. All right. Yes. Probably have to. Well, that reminds me, actually. That deal you worked out with Kiorian.
Yeah.
was slick. You're not gonna be able to do it twice though. Sandy's just over by like eating the last of their like coleslaw, just like he's going.
Good to know.
Wait, who's gone?
The guy that we made
Fiorian,
the
it
deal with
sounds
that
like?
we didn't do the thing.
Yeah, the guy you tricked into dropping surveillance for the day.
Yeah, that guy. He's probably in a very bad place right now.
Is he swimming with the fishies?
Maybe not swimming, but he's certainly standing in the shallow end.
I think he meant sleeping with the fishes.
Yeah, sorry. That's what I meant.
I stand by my statement. He's flirting with the fishes.
Okay.
Just full conf-
I think we're all on the same page now. You all smooth this over. We keep Amelia. And hopefully this just goes away.
We never see each other again. That part's pretty fucking important, right?
Wait, are we being banished? I need to be clear about that.
No,
No. We, the Calabaria family, and you, the Lost Emeralds, do not have any future business together. This is the last of it. After this, we're even, and we're done.
I think we should stipulate as long as they're not destroying the city. But
yeah, I mean, the whole thing that kicked this off was us saying that we were like defenders of the coast. But if your business is not affecting the day-to-day of our lives, we can't really do much about it anyway.
Yes, it's very important to me that I can keep eating at this sandwich shop.
Now, these guys do a good job, don't you, Mel? And you just hear that voice of the cook. It's like, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I can keep eating here. We're good. Yes. Like,
That's fine.
yes.
I have motives. I have very clear.
That's the deal, I guess.
They'll stick out of hands.
I'll shake his hand.
Sandy will also lean forward to take your hand as soon as she's let go. Mm.
And if we
Oh,
could not drag out this Martin thing, I really just need to say a couple things.
Sure,
one
sure.
more tiny
I mean-
stipulation, if you don't mind. If we happen into your business by accident, just warn us first so that we have the chance to stop.
Yeah, I think you guys kind of have a bit of a reputation around here. Our fellows are gonna recognize you.
All right, excellent. All right.
Then I'm gonna like stuff half this sandwich into my face.
As Sandy releases your hand, Noel, they'll say, "For the record, I'm not part of that whole thing. If you guys are interested, maybe down the line, I mean, you're good, really are. I might have some work for you in the future. I could use some good hands like that. Can't promise it'll be a train next time, but
Low key, I'm down for a train. That sounds like fun, but probably not.
We'll think about it.
keep me in mind. You know how to reach me."
You sure do.
Well, I think that about settles it then. Shall we? And it was like, yeah, I think it's about time we get going. Pleasure settling this all with all of you. Give my regards to your big friend. And he'll begin heading out. And Sandy will follow. And as they leave, you will see kind of filtering out of the alleyway across the street and following them. There is a pretty sizable procession, probably like 6 or 7 dudes in heavy coats. They just kind of glance in the window at you guys as they walk by and continue to follow the two of them down the street, out of sight.
Well, I feel gross, but gross is not dead. So I guess that's okay.
You know, they actually seemed pretty nice.
Yeah, that was not bad. That was not terrible at all.
No.
So.
I thought it would take like at least 2 more sessions.
Yeah, I guess we'll get some sandwiches and go pick up John and head back to the Presidium.
I'm going to get enough sandwiches for everyone at the Presidium. And I'm going to
Sure.
pick up dessert for a small child.
Can you get a very, very, very big meat-filled sandwich for John?
I feel like, you know the sandwiches that you get from Subway? They're like supposed to be like a yard or whatever.
The footlongs.
No. Like
Like
the
big.
party subs. Like the big.
The party sub.
Yeah, I feel like I get one of those for John.
Just make sure it's just filled with chicken and steak.
I think we
Unfortunately, there's also vegetables. I'm sorry.
I mean, these guys basically specialize in like French dips, and it's just like a fucking like a 3-foot long French dip they chop up in a box.
Oh,
and they
heck
give
yeah.
you like
I will help you
basically
carry
just
the
like
sandwiches.
small-
This sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it's like a small cauldron au jus to go with it.
Yeah, I'll help it.
All right.
Just a procession of food.
Yeah. You guys depart and make your way back towards John and Amelia. Any special requests as to how you leave this restaurant?
As far
Anything?
as we know, things are about to get smoothed over later in this morning, so
I don't know. I'm scared now.
I guess we'll I don't know, we'll be careful, but I don't think it's worth a spell slot.
Okay. Just making your way back towards the machine shop.
We'll probably just do the reverse of what we did on the way here.
Okay. That's fine. Probably not as sneaky without Pass Without a Trace, but just kind of sticking to the side roads and alleys. You guys kind of wind your way back towards John and eventually reach him. Kind of squeezing under that gap in the fence you guys pulled last night to get into the property, and stepping inside, you find John and Amelia sitting there in silence.
We'll explain everything to John.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how mad is Amelia that they were like, yeah, that's fine?
I think as you explain this whole situation to John and you kind of watch Amelia's face, there is this journey from this like cold, feigned indifference as she's ignoring you to like visible, like vein bulging, like livid rage. And then back to that sort of just like cold fury, that like kind of stewing, fuming. She seems very, very pissed off. Even tied up and gagged as she is, like the body language, the expression on her face, she is not happy to hear any of that.
Good.
So, what is the plan with said lady bitch?
To you.
Probably, I mean,
Do you want me to put her in the back?
I was gonna say, we should probably not have her, that seems almost a little
Okay,
weird.
cool. I'll be like, 1 second, and she'll like gladly just scoop her into the bag. Be like, okay, spill the beans.
My plan is to release her into the Feywild. I mentioned that. The way I see it, we fucked over so many people's lives, and as much as her crimes are maybe deserving of death, I don't have it in me to do that. And I think, as weird as it sounds, it almost seems like the easy out for her. She's pretty old. She's never seen any judgment or punishment for anything she's ever done in her life. I just want to make sure that she, even if it does lead to her death, she's humbled once. That's all. This seemed like a good way to do that. So I don't think it has to be any more complicated than just using the waylight, heading over to Faeril, and dropping her off along the way somewhere. So I guess that's the plan. Someone say something.
Sorry, I'm processing. Because my brain at first went, "Oh, we're going back to Pharaoh? Oh, that's exciting!" And then started wondering what all I could do in Pharaoh. So
It doesn't have to be like a vacation.
listen, vacation always between every. We're needing a vacation from our vacation for a vacation. Plus, we have to put. I have words. Dodo's friend and Dodo back.
Adlar?
Adlar! We can take them back along the way. It's
Yeah.
really a ship journey.
I'd just be like, if we're doing it, we need to like.
Oh, wait. But if we take Dodo to the Feywilds, would be like re-traumatizing it.
Probably. I don't know if this is going to be like a very leisurely walk.
I mean, it doesn't. The pace doesn't matter. It's the fact that we're just there.
Right. Yeah, as far as like actionable stuff here, I just have to, once they get in contact with me, I talk with Martin briefly, and then we can skip ahead. I do have to do some settings to the gatekeeper to work some other stuff out, but beyond that.
Okay.
Yeah, because honestly, I would, if y'all are okay with it, I'd probably offer Adlar and Dodo if they would like a free ride back to Feral.
Yeah, that's fair. There might be a very intense bit of this trip where we have to leave someone behind, but sure.
Yeah, I'd probably be pretty honest with Adlar and Dodo and be like, we're probably going to do something kind of fucked up, but you're more than welcome to join us. Just no judgment, please. She deserves it, I promise.
Yeah.
I was working for some stuff. So, okay. Then do you guys have anything that you want to do in the interim between now and when Martin would be made available to Noel?
It kind of depends how long that time is.
All right. Well, I'll say this then. Do you guys want to stay in this warehouse for the foreseeable future, or do you guys want to go back to the Presidio or do something else?
I think we're planning on going to the Presidium.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll probably resume my partying with Adlar.
Just get back to him.
Yeah.
Okay. And no special precautions. Y'all are just gonna walk openly home.
Make me feel like I should be, but no.
I'm just.
You've asked like 3 times. It's making me nervous.
I think we will just be cautious, but not overly paranoid.
Is Lauren looking out for birds again?
Maybe a little bit.
Sure. So, gathering your captive and your things, you guys leave the machine shop, begin making your way back towards the Presidium. I think as you walk through Freeport, it feels like any other morning. You know, sun's up, people are out, city's bustling with activity. Ships are being loaded and unloaded on the docks. You see, workers in the various factories in this quarter of town, kind of making their way across the various courtyards of their respective businesses, handling equipment, and making whatever it is that they make there. And for the most part, it doesn't feel like last night even happened until you guys get a little closer to downtown. And I think Lauren and Noel, with your passive perceptions, here and there as you walk, you would catch snippets of conversation. Did you hear what happened at the chateau last night? No, what happened? It's like, I heard there was an explosion. I heard a lightning bolt struck the side of the building and blew out 3 windows on one of the stores. All these conjecture starting to happen. Not a lot of detail in those. You do hear some mention that there were some strange individuals seen falling out a window, running up the side of the building. There was guards firing crossbows down into the street and fleeing. God knows who. You know.
The mention of a Triton.
I think, Lauren, as you walk by one couple, they're like, "Oh shit! I heard one of them was a Triton," and he kind of like glances nervously back at you before like going back to his conversation, kind of hurrying along with his partner, like, "Oh shit! I think she heard me."
Finger waves.
And the story's circulating. It's not like a widely discussed thing. You don't see, a huge police cordon outside the hotel. You don't see, crowds of people demanding answers in front of, a press conference. It's just, it's out there, and you can hear it, but it doesn't seem like much of anything is really happening.
Kind of gossip right now.
Yeah. And before long, you guys pass out of sort of the downtown waterfront. You make your way up Angler's Landing towards the outlying ranches around Fort Franco, and past that into the sand dunes that sort of blow around the Presidium. And making your way back to the gates, find them closed, give them a knock, and they are very, very quickly opened. And normally you would find Jade looking kind of bleary-eyed as she kind of pulls the gate open. You can see Rainer and Secundo behind her kind of walking over to see what's going on. You're back.
You said she looks tired? Is that what you said?
She does look a little tired, yeah.
Are you okay?
No, I'm good. I stayed up. I thought maybe you'd be back last night. You didn't tonight. I fell asleep over there. She'll kind of point over towards the stable, with like overhang and just like a big pile of hay. She kind of like posted up in.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you worry.
No, I wanted to be here when you got back, and I am. So you made it. You're okay.
We are.
Everything go well?
Could have gone worse.
That's still good.
Yeah, I can explain more, but maybe not out in the open here.
Sure. Yeah, Raynard's going to probably walk up at this point and be like, "So, you guys have been out partying all night, huh?"
You could say that.
Shit.
I'd love a drink.
You would?
I'd love a drink.
I mean, I got some stuff over by the fucking workshop.
Lead me away.
Let's go. All right. Yeah, they seem a little curious, but if you guys are kind of just intent on getting inside and getting some rest, maybe they'll leave you be. And yeah, Noah, you want to fill in Jade?
Yeah, I mean, how do you even explain it? I just kidnapped my mom.
I'm going to strand her on another planet existence.
Yeah. I will tell Jade though. I mean, I have no reason to hide it.
Make sure you say stepmom. To be clear.
Adoptive mother.
Because remember, all stepmoms are evil.
Yeah, apparently. I would tell Jade. I would just use gentle words.
Not all
I
stepmoms.
think there's definitely a mixture of both, like, concern, but also, like, genuinely, like, damn, are you, like, okay concern? Just knowing what you have told me about that whole situation. Probably having some sense, just being able to read you, like, maybe not in the best place.
Isn't it true of like fairy tales that all stepmoms are evil?
I mean, in fairy tales, but I like my stepmom.
Well, fairy tales in reality are different.
Is an adopted mother a stepmother?
I don't know.
I don't think that's how it works.
Well, I guess it would depend on if
I guess
so if you had regular parents and your mother died, so she married a man, so it's you have a new stepfather, and then the other parent died, and so your stepfather married something, then you'd have two step parents, but I don't know.
Yeah, I always thought
I guess in that
step
case
would
it's
require
the adopted
remarrying.
parents.
According to Google, step requires marriage.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Never mind, I take it back.
So
That's
she'd be your adoptive mom.
Yeah, adoptive mother.
Yeah. I mean, I think you kind of filled her in Jesus.
Yeah. Am I okay? I don't know yet. I don't know if any of this was a good idea, but
Does she know?
I kind of felt like I didn't have a choice.
She's not bad.
Actually, if the Presidium has a prison, we could just put her in one of the cells for now.
Good.
I feel like we might need to
Probably
get
need to ask
permission.
for a key. They're probably not just sitting out.
Oh, I can go as Gerald. I'll be like, I got this. Rainer, I'll be back. Hey, Gerald, can I have a key to the prison, please?
What?
What? Yeah, sure. Here you go.
I just need it for something.
I mean, at this point, we don't even really need to be super cagey about it. Like,
Do I?
Okay, cool.
Should I know?
We stole.
I don't need to know.
Noel's.
Just take it. We're not involved. We're not
Thank you.
as it's probably smarter of Gerald.
Yeah, honestly, it's probably better you don't know, but it's not that bad. She's a bad person, I promise.
When you get arrested, you took the key. I didn't give it to you.
Deal.
I think I'm gonna get
I
arrested.
like how he didn't say if, he said when.
Yeah, well, there's no faith in my ability to not get arrested. That's hurtful,
I've
Gerald.
been arrested. Okay, it happens to everybody. Just
I've never been arrested, and I've done some real shady shit. I mean,
You're still
I am an
young.
angel, Gerald. I am
you're
an
still young.
angel.
Take the key. Get out of here.
Lauren, you can't really say you've done some shady shit and then immediately change to I'm an angel.
So,
No, I'm an angel.
you guys are gonna toss her in the dungeon of the Presidium.
I mean, I guess if you want
Yeah.
to call yourself an angel fish,
It
I'd accept it
is.
because they're both poisonous and terrifying.
It is wet. It is moldy. Some of the cells at the far end of this sort of hall of cells is like completely collapsed in, and you kind of recognize like, oh yeah, that hallway is all like boarded up with like fucking mishmash wood, kind of cover that collapsed hallway.
Right.
It's a shit place, and you fucking find a cell that doesn't have any bones in it, and just fucking set Amelia in there.
Residential suite. It has no bones.
Yeah.
Dark as hell too. There's no lights down here. They don't keep any fucking lamps lit.
Well, just for today.
Yeah. So Amelia is tossed out in her nightgown onto the floor, this wet, moldy floor, and left to her own devices in the dungeon of the Presidium. From there, I think it would probably be several hours, Noel, before you would receive a sending message.
Okay.
And you would hear Sandy's voice. Hey, so sounds like we've got the go ahead. If you want to come to this address, your dad's going to be in the pagoda out back. I'll have some folks to sort of show you around. And she will give you an address.
Sure. Did she say a time?
The time is now.
Right now, got it.
Sandy's new character trait. She never gives a time. She says,
Yep, see you there. Yeah, I would just say I'll head over there. It might take me about or whatever the estimate would be, but
Sure.
I'll be there soon.
okay. And there's probably no further.
Yeah. You can cast
Would you
Sending?
like? Would you like company on the walk?
Yeah. I did say I'd come along, so you'll have to bail a couple blocks ahead of things, but sure.
Yeah, no, the walk on the way there. I private matter.
I got you. Yeah, if you want to come.
Burberry will shuffle along.
Shuffle, shuffle.
He knows no other way.
Hmm.
Only shuffle.
So, leaving the Presidium, I guess either finding a map or asking for directions, you would eventually find that that address will lead you back into that sort of northern suburban quarter on the edge of the Temple District. And sure enough, lead you to that large, sort of sprawling countryside estate in North Freeport that you saw last night through the rain.
Man,
And
it's a good thing we didn't go in there. We would have been fucked.
Yo. I had a feeling.
yeah, coming up to see it, it is it's a little more modern looking in its construction than sort of the old like plantation style like manor villas back on Daggermore. This looks like a much more contemporary sort of new money structure. Big black tiled roofs. Tall windows on the first floor, kind of just letting the light shine in. Balcony on the second floor. Kind of a sprawling garden that kind of wraps around the house itself, and there's like a big like paved walkway in like red brick that kind of walks from the street through a wrought iron gate up to like a big fountain. You can see there's like a handful of smaller houses around the property as well, not just this big one. They look either like guest houses or like guard barracks, stables. And as you sort of approach, you would see that there are a couple of armed guards standing just at attention outside the gate. And as you get close, one of them will kind of catch sight of you and say, "Miss Cordemanch, is it?"
I guess. Yeah.
Right this way. And he will take out a key and undo the lock on the gate and begin leading you inside. And you'll sort of make your way up the walk towards the main house before you sort of step off onto the grass and start wrapping around. This guy doesn't say a word to you, but as you walk, you can see that there are, here and there around the grounds, a number of these individuals, suits, kind of long guns straps over their shoulders. Some of them wearing kind of wide brim hats, kind of shield their eyes. And, they all just kind of like nod at you as you walk past. And probably on your way, kind of around the house, you would count probably 10 on the ground and up on the balcony. And rounding the house, you would see that there's even more garden, even more sprawling grass, some trees, and there is a large sort of roofed sort of pagoda structure off to the side, not too far from the back of the house, and through sort of the sort of golden light of the setting sun, you can see that there's a lone figure seated underneath it, just kind of hunched on a bench. And drawing closer, you can see that it is indeed Mr. Martin. And he will just kind of look up to you and look back down at his hands where he's fiddling something.
Hey, Martin.
I'll leave you to it. Well,
I don't even know where to start. Do you feel any better these days? I know you had a lot of physical problems when I was around. Did you ever manage to get any of that worked out?
a bit. And you can see he's definitely like red in the eyes.
Couldn't hear you, sorry. That was mumbled.
What are you going to do with Amelia?
We don't have any plans to kill her. Martin, all I ever wanted with Amelia, once I managed to get out of that situation, was to just see her actually face some consequences for once. She got away with everything.
We got away with a lot. All of us did.
I know. And things sat that way for so long, and I restarted my life once I got away. And I thought for about 7 years about how I could ever make things better with all the damage I did. I never found that answer until a few months ago. I found some friends, and I'm trying to do good now.
He just kind of sniffs and nods and kind of goes back to fiddling with the ring that you can see. He's just kind of turning over between his fingers.
Do I recognize it?
It's just a plain gold wedding band. Don't suppose I'm ever going to see her again. Will I?
Oof.
What would you want to
No.
say if you could?
You can definitely tell he's kind of choking on the words a bit, and the tears kind of well up a little bit more in his eyes. I don't even know. But this plan was this was a bad plan. And now she's gone, and I don't know what's going to happen to me.
Okay, can I sit down?
He just kind of meekly gestures to all the empty benches in the pagoda, just like no one else.
Yeah.
See.
You're gonna be okay, Martin. I know. As much as I wish you would have helped and stood up for me more when I was a kid, I could always tell that you had something, connection with me. You had a heart. I could see it. I could feel it. I never wanted anything I never want any of this to come back to bite you, Martin. Part of me hoped that if we removed Amelia from the picture, you could actually maybe do something good with what we've, I suppose, given you at this point.
He just kind of nods along, and steadies himself again, and I think that's very sweet of you to say. I don't know if I don't know if I have much of anything to give these days.
You're under no obligation.
After you left, it was just me and Amelia, and now it will just be me and this woman whenever she needs to be Amelia.
You don't have to stay in that situation, Martin.
He meets your eyes, and like there is this just wide-eyed, drained expression, and he slowly kind of like his gaze kind of swings over to the big house not too far from this pagoda. Back to you. Kind of slowly shakes his head and he says, "These are not good people."
I know.
Your mother was ruthless, but she at least took care of us. Can't say the same for any of them. And now we're on the I'm on the receiving end, I should say. Suppose you're sounds like you're walking away from this whole thing with them.
There's a lot of ways I wish this played out instead of how it did. I'll put my hand on his and just say, if there's any way I can get you out of this, I'll find it. I promise.
He tears up a little bit more. You can see it kind of start to stream down his face and nods very vigorously. He's kind of having a hard time making eye contact at this point, and the kind of long, stringy hair from the patch like on his forehead kind of starts to stick to the front of his face and pushes back into place. And you shouldn't really. I know we had this coming.
You didn't.
Never stopped it. Was the house clothes, the security. We had a good life, even if we had to do some not so great things to get it. Amelia, she always said it was us or them. It always was. And if you've got a chance to get away from this, you should. should. You did once.
I don't want to just get away from it, Martin. I want to fix it. I didn't do it this go around. But if you're patient, I think someday I can find a way to fix it.
Thank you, Noah.
Can I ask one question? When I was first adopted, we spent a year together, and to be honest, those memories are all pretty good. You remember we were in that really tiny little house and it had that hole in the corner of the roof?
I remember that house.
But you were so caring, and so was Amelia. And it's bugged me for so long. Was it all manipulation by Amelia? Did something change? Do you know? Because I feel like so much of the goodwill that she earned in that year was what she spent to get me to do everything I did. Was she always like this?
He kind of slowly shakes his head. I don't know when it started, but I know she resented our station for a long time after I hurt myself and fell on hard times. It was just more than she was willing to just sit and bear. I think I don't know if she had the plan in mind when we took you in, or if she only had a piece of it, or if there wasn't even an inkling yet. I don't know, but she wanted better for us, and as horrible as it is in hindsight, she saw a way to do it with you. And it worked.
I kind of look over at the mansion a little too well.
To a point.
I'll just kind of meet his gaze and just say, I don't want Amelia to die. If she's deserving of death, then so am I. And I'm finding a way to redeem myself. I'm hoping if I can get all the pieces in place that maybe she could find that too someday.
I think you'll be hard pressed to convince her she needs to be redeemed. always been so willful. Somebody's puking.
Well, I guess to move this forward. I would just say, this isn't the end, Martin.
He'll squeeze the hand that he's holding. Just nod. Someday you're going to have to tell me everything that you've been up to since you left. You've changed so much.
It wasn't that exciting until the last few months, I promise. But I always have sending. You'll hear from me.
I would like that.
Guards are looking a little impatient.
And to be fair, they always look like that. Just kind of cuts over to them, just kind of scowling at the fucking lip sticking out, the sneered nose, squinty eyes, all of them
Right.
look staring into the sun.
Every single one of them's got resting bitch face.
Oh, yeah. The half orc, the human, the half elf, the dwarf.
Okay.
All three of the frizzled.
Well, I'll offer him a hug. I don't know if we're there, but
I think he's more surprised by that than anything, and just after a moment, just kind of very tentatively like wraps the one good arm around you, and you do feel a bit of a shudder as he kind of suppresses the
I'll
sob.
just, as I hold him, I'll just say, I so wish this could have played out differently.
I wish a lot had gone differently.
Stay safe.
You too.
I'll come back for you. And I'll get up and walk out.
The guard will, as soon as you leave the building, he starts walking back towards you, and he'll lead you back around the house to the front gate and out to the street.
Burberry has a bottle of water and a warm cookie.
Oh,
For you.
I will devour the cookie. Wait, a bottle of warm water?
No.
Oh, a warm cookie.
Regular water.
Right, okay. A cookie and room temperature water, Noel.
No, worse. It's a cold cookie and a warm
It's cold cookie and hot water. Okay,
All right.
head back to the Presidium. Thank you, Burberry.
Just kind of give you a pat. Says if you ever need help. I hear Jade's very nice. No,
She is.
Well, if we want to take our break here, since it is almost 11, get that in and wrap up our last hour.
Okie dokie. Push
Good.
a break.
Get back at 9:50, 10:50 your time.
Okie dokie.
We'll resume.
the session. Okay, we're back.
All right.
Actually, I did have a question for Noelle.
Oh. Okay, as we're walking back, or?
Yeah, sure, that'll work. I'm not sure if this is the sort of thing that would be cathartic or problematic, but did you want to make her a bag?
You have to elaborate. Make her a bag?
Sorry. A survival bag?
Oh.
No. Sorry. I'm not.
You're not here.
Yes. That was actually part of it.
Hey. That might be wise. I wasn't sure how vindictive this whole thing was.
Yeah.
Because I know she did a lot of things, but you're a very nice person.
I'm trying to be. I just had a hard time coming to terms with the idea that Amelia was worthy of death from us. Because, frankly, I was the one who did a lot of the stuff. I think whatever punishment she has could easily be applied to me. So if she's worthy of death, so am I. And at this point, I don't think I am.
I would like to wholeheartedly disagree. While the actions may have been the same, the motivation behind them feels vastly different.
It was, but I went along with it for a lot longer than I should have. I knew what I was doing was wrong.
If going against the grain for longer than you probably should have somehow condemns you, well, let's just say that I would also fall in that boat. But I believe that doing things for the approval of someone is far less severe wrong than doing things for self-interest.
I think you're right. There is such a thing as being a victim of circumstance, too.
Burberry, taps his nose, yeah.
I understand. There's a lot of nuance. I spent 7 years thinking about it. But I guess I just never landed on death as a punishment for Amelia. I think she deserves to be humbled.
A challenge within itself.
Well, if there's nothing...
But you are giving her every opportunity to do so.
Seems like there's nothing on this plane that can do it.
Insert vaguely problematic joke about Bay contracts here?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I suppose. Sorry I wasn't sure if there's anything else you wanted to, but yeah, I would like to get some kind of basic venturing kit explorer pack, whatever it's called.
We should probably pick it up before we meet the party again. I don't imagine Lauren's going to be very happy with this idea.
Yeah, we'll get some supplies.
She's very vindictive. Although I'm not sure, I hope it's on your behalf.
I think her heart's in the right place.
So a basic explorer's pack, 60 pounds of gear for 10 gold.
Perfect.
Dungeoneer's pack, 12 gold.
I'll just do a explorer's pack, a tent, maybe like a little short sword,
Some rations.
some rations.
Okay, tent's gonna be 2 gold.
Maybe some honey if we're believing folklore.
A short sword is 10 gold. The explorer's pack, I believe, has rations.
Okay.
10 days. So if you want any more, then you're gonna have to fork over half a gold per ration.
Okay. I will. It is fairly arbitrary at this point. I will pay whatever I need to pay at the end of the session.
Okay. So it's going to be, like I said, 22 plus rations. So
Okay.
extra rations. So yeah, so you go buy your supplies and get back to the Presidium and reconnoiter.
Mm-hmm.
Say on this side of town, not hearing a lot of whispers necessarily about any odd things down at the chateau last night.
I probably should buy another outfit. I think I burned this one.
I mean.
The witch doctor attire, not the
Oh, okay.
classic. It served its purpose, now I need a new one.
You're just burning through them. Other thing I need to do, I did want to contact the gatekeeper today before we did anything else.
Okay.
If you want to go through the settings, you can, or I can just give you a real vague notion of what I'm kind of trying to get across here in 3 sending spells. No one wants to make a deal with the gatekeeper.
Okay.
Essentially, she would offer a favor to be redeemed at the gatekeeper's discretion, however she wants, in whatever capacity she wishes. In exchange, she wants the gatekeeper to essentially keep Amelia alive.
Okay.
For her natural lifespan?
Keep her alive until she... I don't know how long of a timetable I would work on here, but keep her alive until she finds some kind of stability again. Or before some time limit runs out. If it never happens, it never happens.
Okay. I mean, I definitely think you get a somewhat a mixture of like incredulity and intrigue from the gatekeeper. And I think with a sending of her own, she will ask, you do realize that you are intentionally seeking out a bargain with the Fae right now, don't you? I'm given to understand your people typically advise against such things.
I understand. There are a few things I want more in this life than to see this woman humbled.
Well, since you asked for her survival, I expect you do not expect me to do the humbling. So
I think reality will.
I will think on your proposal. I may have need of your assistance. I may not. I'll have to see what still needs doing around here.
Okay.
Cool. So, Faye Gatekeeper will get back to you. And make a note of that.
I could say also, for what it's worth, I'll just delete my 4th level slot as well today, just to clarify this.
Okay.
That we are planning to drop her off in the Feywild near Faerul. So if she wants to talk, I can be there. At least I mean, I don't know if I can make the 2-day journey to her home, but I could be at the edge of the Fey Forest.
Why not? It's been some time since I've had some company.
Okay. Well, one piece of business left then.
All right. What's on the agenda?
Well, as far as Noelle, at this point, got all the things I need. Contacted the gatekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
We just gotta walk Amelia through the Feywild at this point. So
Okay, well then, I need to talk to Adlar and Dodo.
go for it. Do what you gotta do.
Little hop scoopity to Feral.
So, and you said you were gonna go seek them out after.
Yeah,
Okay. So,
at some point I was, yeah.
I think you probably actually find them just kind of chilling out on like the docks and beaches, like just kind of meandering. I think they may have hit their limit on fucking partying and drinking, potentially just night after night. So when you find them, they're probably just kind of like chilling on the outskirts of town, just like, "Hey, Lauren, you're looking a little peaked, a little tired. What happened?
Lots of stuff.
Good?
Yeah, great. We're planning on going to Feral. If you would like a free ride back, but there will be something very sketchy that we will be doing on said way to Feral. So this is your opportunity to not be involved, but also it's a free ride and you'll get there maybe pretty quick.
Okay, couple of questions.
Nah,
One,
it's not.
were we not planning to do the solstice here? What's in Feral?
Sending stone to Noelle. Noelle, are we not doing solstice here anymore? Are we coming
No, we
back?
can do
or-
solstice here. We just have to use the waylight once. I just figured Feral was the fastest place to go if we wanted to get back here.
Excellent point. Didn't think about that. We'll probably be coming back, and that could take us. How long does it take for the Feylight to?
A week.
It'll take us at least.
Well, it takes a week to recharge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
a
we
week
could
to
just take
recharge.
a boat too, technically.
Yeah. I don't want to go up on a boat. I don't.
No
Press-
boats, please.
La shrug.
Pass on the boat. Okay.
By the end, everyone in the party will not like boats, but it will be for entirely different reasons for each person.
Yeah, I don't
I
trust
mean,
La shrug.
Adler's probably like, I mean, I'm down to head home for a bit if you want to hang out at home. Feral is lovely this time of year. Second question.
Okay.
When you say sketchy, do you mean like, hey Adla, we found some cool new drugs we're going to try, but you don't have to if you don't want to.
No.
Or,
Way worse than that.
hey Adla, we're doing some like dark ritual magic shit.
Not
With this
that far.
cult that
Not
we
that far.
found, trying to talk to their god. So maybe, don't look if you don't want to lose your eyes.
It's like in the middle.
It's like in the middle of those.
Okay. I guess,
You might hear a lady you don't know being very mean and aggressive towards us, but
he's definitely like scrutinizing you, like, okay.
does Noelle? Okay, on the sending stone, I think I would also clarify. Can I tell Adlar about the situation if he's going to be
If we
joining us?
trust him, sure. I'll leave that to your discretion.
Do you trust Adla?
I would like to think so. Now you're making me second
Is he
guess.
gonna blurt it out when he's drunk or something? Is that the kind of thing he does?
I don't think so. Is that a thing I've seen Adler do?
Give me an insight check.
Oh, I don't know shit. It's like 11 total.
I mean, he doesn't strike you as particularly blabby when he's drunk.
Sorry.
He drinks, he gets loud, he has a good time, he relaxes.
Dodo's the real blabbermouth.
Yeah, he's a talker.
Yeah.
You know Dodo.
I think it should just be like, there's a bad lady, and we're gonna dump her in the Feywilds. Okay.
Dodo's like, oh shit. He's got like a wide-eyed, like, oh my god, expression on his face.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of traveling. Okay, Dodo. Also, just so for your knowledge, we are kind of traveling through the Feywilds in a safe manner. That you won't get lost. I pinky promise.
Okay. But you're gonna leave this lady there.
Mm-hmm. But we just have to kick her off the path and say good luck, bitch.
Oof, okay. Yeah, I guess.
Is this the most reaction I've ever gotten from Dodo?
He did say oof.
I know, right? I'm like,
That's pretty emotive for
Yeah.
Dodo, yeah.
it's pretty emotional.
Adlar, I think, hears all that, gives you like a low whistle, like, damn, okay. Well,
She deserves it, I promise.
I'll be honest, I kind of want to see it. Now you've got me curious.
Okay.
So, I'm in.
Dodo, if
no
you're
one
not
does it.
comfortable, you can stay here. The room's paid for, so.
I mean, you guys killed the last thing that fucked with me. So I'm not super worried about that. So yeah, we'll just
We do have a good track record of killing bad things, so. You should be pretty safe with us.
yeah, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Just you guys. Just yeah, okay.
Okay, cool.
Alright.
Alright.
Oh yeah, does Jade want to come to Feral?
Oh,
I would ask her to.
I've never been. And I would like to, but I do have that appointment with what was the name? Doctor
Something or other. I don't think I wrote it down.
Mibirith.
Wait, didn't she already do that?
Professor Mibirith.
That was how she got the job at for the Dragon Tomb exploring, right? Or
She was going to follow up. She has not actually met with them yet, I don't think.
I think she did, because I remember I was like, that sounds really cool, because she was describing what it was going to be.
no, she.
I thought she had planned to take that the next time she was in Freeport. I don't remember if she met with the guy again.
Oh.
If not, I'm going to say she will need to follow up with him because
Sure,
they
yeah,
are making arrangements still
Yeah.
for the trip after the solstice.
Okay.
But it sounds very exciting, actually, and I'm very much looking forward to it. So yeah, if,
Well, I'll get you there at some point.
yes, definitely. I think after this illegal job, I think I will have a little extra spending money to relax with.
That sounds good. I'm going to be gone for 10 to 20 days. Just so you know.
Maybe even longer.
Technically, I think 22 could technically happen.
I think the longest would be 20. Yeah, 22.
But that's not super likely. The one in 36.
So, so today you get all your ducks in a row, settled the store, talked to Martin, made your plans. Anything else that you want to do on the 33rd?
I think I'm good.
I'm gonna tell Gerald where we're going.
Can I ask?
Carol? Cool.
I don't know.
Real quick before we go into it along the side, can I quick question? Who all is watching Amelia while this all is going down? Is she just hanging out in jail?
I think
Is that
we check on her once in a while. Give her some food.
Yeah, she is curled up in her cell, just against the back wall, huddled up. Every time you find her, just
Okay. Sorry, please proceed, Johnny.
I was just gonna tell Gerald and then see if he wants to join. I don't know if he will, but then at the same time, I'd be like, also, if you don't want to know the shady shit we're doing, you might not want to come.
yeah, that probably no should. Also, we are kind of wrapping up everything with Renascence here, so we're kind of trying to get everything done before the solstice, so they can head out ASAP.
Okay. Cool.
But I appreciate the offer.
Okay.
Don't tell me what you're doing.
I feel like Lauren's just like, we're dropping a lady off in the Feywild. I'm just kidding. We would never do something so heinous.
He looks just white as a sheet when you say that.
No, I don't say that.
He's like,
I don't say that.
yeah, you never would do that. Oh my god. Fucking just lost him.
I know too much.
Holy shit.
I don't actually say that.
Don't ask for context. Don't ask for context.
I don't actually say that.
All right.
No, I promise.
Retcon.
Really did not want to be.
That's fair. Okay, so anything else today?
I'm good.
All right, cool. So tomorrow on the 34th, you guys wake up bright and early, long rest achieved, safe and sound in the Presidium. What's the plan?
Has Gideon said anything about the fact that there's a random extra person in his area?
In the dungeons?
Yes.
No, he has not said anything about that.
There is? I never go down there. Yeah, I will, well, I was gonna say before they get up, but they get up at fucking crack of dawn, so, at some point we will fetch Amelia, get the gang together, say goodbye to Jade for a couple weeks, and whenever everybody's ready, we can go.
Yeah, before we skedaddle, can I commission a fireproof stuffed animal?
A fireproof
Fireproof?
stuffed animal.
Oh, right.
Hey,
duh.
are my gloves done yet?
Let me check.
Check the glove meter.
Glove meter goes off on the 59th, so no.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
mates are ready to pick up.
Pizza?
I was just making a reference to pizza meter.
Oh. Man, those gloves are, they take a while.
I think they were a rare item.
I think very rare. Because we had rare items, but we also were kind of making them. I'm pretty sure his was very rare. That's why it was so long.
No, I think they're rare. They're a rare item because Burberry's also making glamour studded leather that's going to be done at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, so you have Amelia, you have the group assembled, and you are beelining for the nearest path to the Feywild.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a walk probably, but
Yeah, so you, as I said, you would know that the Fairwood to the southwest, across the bay, just outside of Helmfirth, is going to be the closest, like, dense old forest. You do know that there are forests in the foothills of the mountains to the southwest of Shreveport, and also like just due west. But you're not confident how dense that forest is necessarily that would serve the purpose of the Waylight. So if you want to spend some time asking around, if you're looking for something closer, you are welcome to. Otherwise, off the top of your head, you know the Fairwood would be the best.
How long is it to the Fairwood?
And that'll depend on how you go. Typically, to get to Helmfirth, you guys have taken a ferry from Freeport to Oak Hall and then ridden horseback at pretty high speed to get there by nightfall. Theoretically, if you were to either fly or swim directly towards Helmfirth and just walk, you could probably get there a little faster, probably like late midday.
Getting there in half a day doesn't really do anything, so we have to walk 8 hours with the Waylight still, don't we?
Yes.
So I would probably ask to see if there's anything closer first, just to cover our bases.
Okay. I'd say give me an investigation check. Just asking around town.
Natural 20 plus 1.
Good dang. Get it, girl.
I find like
Okay.
a hunter.
A social.
I've been in all these woods.
Sure, yeah, it's a hunter. You're like you go to like one of the like old historic saloons downtown, just hoping maybe you find someone's.
There's gonna be a hunter in here.
There's an old woodsman,
I
with
can smell it.
fur coat and hat, and he's like, I know these woods around these lands. I know them real good.
Perfect. You're just the man I'm looking for.
What are you looking for in them woods?
Actually, we're just looking for woods. Very thick, dense woods nearby.
It's bear country. You hunting bear?
Something like that.
Sure.
Well, anyways.
It's like, is he rolling insight on me? What's going on?
Yeah, probably. But he sees nothing.
Cool.
He will tell you that if you take the ferry across the bay, and from Oak Hall you head southwest towards the village of Rose. There's a hill outside the city, like on the plains, and there's nothing on that hill except for this kind of creepy old estate. Couple of dudes run by themselves, and there is a very thick pine forest around there that kind of like circles the hill, except for the part that they use to kind of like drive up and down. The pine forest there, he says, is damn good bear hunting country.
Sounds
Just don't
perfect.
get too close to that house. Shit's creepy.
Sounds cool. Thank you very much. I'm gonna go kill a bunch of bears. See you later.
His buddies lean over, is like, you don't fucking hunt bears. He's like, shut up. They didn't suspect this thing.
Turns out he's a changeling.
Taking the ferry across the bay to Woodhall, you guys follow his instructions. And without too much difficulty, you're basically, looks like 2 X's out of Oak Hall. You find the hill, you find the pine forest sort of encircling, kind of spreading out into the grasslands around it. And true to his description, it definitely seems to be a very thick, dark forest, even at a distance. Like you can see it very clearly miles away as you're approaching it. And getting up close to it and kind of up towards the eaves, like the brush gives way to full-on towering, pine trees very quickly. And before long, you are sort of deep in the shadows of this copse here. It looks suitable, at
Okay.
least to your experience.
Barnaby, if you would do the honors.
All right, little light, do your stuff.
Pop the bottle, this little jingling light kind of flies out of it, does a few circles in the air before you, kind of getting its bearings, it looks like before it begins to kind of weave around the trees, floats a little deeper into the forest before it pauses and almost turns back to you guys and jingles again, almost beckoning for you to follow.
Off we go.
How's the Dodo reacting?
He's definitely I think very, very puzzled to see you have a fairy in a bottle that you are just like, yeah, we're following this. He's like, this goes against everything I've ever heard about fairies, but okay.
It's actually not too bad. It doesn't talk at all. It's really nice.
And yeah, you guys follow it, and before long, as you guys hike deeper and deeper into this pine forest, following the exact path that this thing is winding, these long, circuitous loops between the trees and around them. Before long, you begin to see other motes of light, like fireflies, sort of flitting about in the distance. You begin to see grass in these vivid shades of orange and reds and green. You see the pine trees beginning to sort of branch in, an almost oak-like fashion. These long, splitting branches of bristling needles, and through the canopy overhead, you kind of watch as the tiny pockets of sky that are visible through it change from that bright, clear blue to a vivid, effervescent green to orange to yellow, back to green. This sort of kaleidoscopic shifting now begins to kind of overtake the atmosphere here. And at some point or another, you clearly have crossed the veil and are now working your way through the Feywild.
Okay. I'm gonna hold on to Amelia until maybe the last couple hours of the walk.
Okay. Now, given that you already had to walk about 4 hours to get out of here, I will require some constitution checks from the party for forced march. So I get some con saves from the group. Por favor.
Natural 20.
11 total?
That's a success.
I had a 13.
That's a success.
It scared me.
I'm using my inspiration. That was a nat 1.
Oh,
Ooh,
poor Barnaby.
a failure.
John got a 13.
That
Success.
succeeds.
That brings me up to 10.
That
I rolled a 3 plus 7.
barely succeeds, I think.
Oh!
Let me double check that one.
It's either 10 or 11 to succeed on the first one, I think.
Yeah.
I was very lucky. John rolled a 6, but I had a plus 7.
This is not the spot.
Oh, 10.
Why do you have to cram yourself behind that computer when you know it is not?
Well, because it's warm, you know.
No, it's just to walk, but he doesn't fit. So he knocks everything over. Okay, sorry. I was looking for...
If I'm doomed or not.
Get down. DC 10 plus 1 for each hour past 8 hours. Oof. And it was a 10, you said, David?
So it
Yeah.
barely fails.
It barely fails, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Oh boy.
That's 1 exhaustion on Barnaby. So you now have disadvantage on ability checks and attacks, I believe.
I think maybe I pulled a muscle that I didn't realize until I started walking a bunch.
So just ability checks. Yep. Okay.
I'm just explaining the exhaustion.
That's fair. Second con save for your second hour of forced march.
13 total?
Hey, that's a success.
18 total.
That's a success.
9 plus 3 is 12.
Meets it, beats it.
17 for John.
Success.
16.
Success. Cool. So, second hour, you guys power through, continue your march, no issues. Your third hour of forced march.
How far are we into the day at this point?
Oh my god, I've rolled 3 9s in a row.
This would
I failed
be
this one.
hour 11.
So
Your
are we getting
total.
close to the Phalight's end or no?
Yeah. This is the second from the last hour.
Okay. So probably.
I hate that.
Go ahead.
I hate that I used this for this, but I rolled a natural 20 for this time.
Hey,
I failed.
I also fail. That's like an 8.
anything under a 13 fails.
Oh, a 13?
13 will make it.
Oh, wait, no. I rolled a 9. Plus 3.
I failed again. That's a 3 plus 7.
Oh, that's a bad one to fail.
That is a bad one. Barnaby is now.
Hey, Barnaby, do you want my inspiration?
Yeah.
Okay, there
That'd
you
be
go.
nice.
I don't want you to have 2 exhaustion. So roll.
That got me to 12 total.
No, roll better than that.
You get a 13.
Well, I failed.
All right. Well, Barnaby's walking at half speed, y'all.
Lauren turns into a riding horse and is like, Barnaby, hop on.
Okay. And so at this point, no.
Yeah, this would be where I'd turn to Amelia and say, okay, this is your stop.
I mean, is she in the bag or is she even walking?
Oh, I figured she would, I mean, she probably would have been in the bag for some of it, but at some point would have pulled her out.
Okay.
Just to avoid the whole concepts, whatever.
Sure.
You let her out, she just freaking yeets.
She's probably like, put me back in the bag, I don't want to walk.
Cannibal. Where's the carriage? Yeah, so, when you pulled her out earlier in the walk, she was definitely kind of like wide-eyed at everything, just walking around, hands bound in her fucking nightgown, like staring at this bizarre landscape all around her, the Feywild kind of unrolling before her. And for hours, there's just no conversation, not a word from her, until you finally turn and tell her it's her stop, and she just kind of looks at you blankly. Is she gagged at this point, or is she?
I don't think she's gonna, I mean, she would have been gagged if she was gonna try and like yell to people, but we're in the Feywild, so.
Sure. Okay. I think she just looks at you blankly and say, excuse me.
Let me kill a bitch. I hate her so. I don't
That's
say
the horse.
Yeah.
Horse gives a death glare.
Just trample.
Horse could do it.
Horse could
Real easy.
I'm done with you, Amelia. I put a line in the sand and I gave you a deal that you really should have taken. You've spent 20 years being above consequences. Eventually everything comes back to bite us.
What's Atlar's reaction during this? I'm sorry. I'm so curious. Is he just like...
He's like,
It's like, I'm so glad I came.
holy shit.
Got a bucket of popcorn.
He's like, Dora, what the fuck? And I was like, I can't watch this. Amelia
I feel bad
is-
for Dodo, to be honest. But
I feel so bad for Dodo.
Amelia, I don't think really has much of a shift in expression as you tell her this, and she kind of looks around at this place and she says, "So where does that leave us then?
what do you mean?
What are you doing with me? You say everything comes back to bite us. Clearly, this is you biting me. So how does this work?"
Well, you and I destroyed a lot of lives, Amelia. And we forced a lot of people to restart. And I was forced to restart at one point. So, I'm just making you do the same thing we've done to so many before us. I'll dump Explorer's pack at her feet, short sword, bag of rations, and 107 gold and 5 silver. Which is the amount of money that I stole from her safe when I ran away from home. I've efficiently given you back everything you ever gave me.
Have you?
Yes, Amelia. I had nothing to show for my time as a part of your family. I don't think there's anything we have left to say to each other.
She just like smirks and looks down at this pack and the sword and the money and back at you. Just this like pursed lemon sour expression on her face. This is more twisted sense of victory than I think I would have expected from you, but it is what it is, I suppose. Congratulations. You won.
I know.
Get your little city, you get your little ghost. Until somebody comes along and takes that.
At least it won't be you.
Probably not.
Part of me hopes you'll find something in this.
Find something in arming me and sending me out into the wilds to fight for my life.
It's a very humbling experience.
Poverty is humbling.
Well, I suppose if she really wanted, we could just have her fight our druid.
That horse is
You
ready
see a horse like, yeah, let's do it.
Gregory is actually side-eyeing her right now.
Amelia definitely kind of like there. No, you would notice there's definitely like a step back when Noelle starts fucking like, yeah, let's go.
Horns down.
But she like you can see she steals herself and she resumes. poverty was humbling. It is not something I ever wished to dwell on any longer than I had to.
Poverty was nothing compared to what you're about to go through.
I'm sure you take a great deal of satisfaction in that.
I'll take satisfaction if it works. I think the word you're looking for is schadenfreude.
Gesundheit.
Just the metallic echo from inside the suit of armor.
No, Barnaby. That is then Burberry will explain like off to the.
You're helping I learn what exactly from this? This is a lesson you are trying to teach me? Or is this just a way to get out of having to kill yourself?
Both.
How convenient.
Works out very well. Well, if you have anything substantive to say, I could stick around, but we need to keep moving.
Are you going to leave me tied up out here, or do I have to figure that out myself as well?
Oh, if you take the sword and you hold it in your wrist and you kind of just move it back and forth, it should cut the vines, but it'll take about 15 minutes probably, and we'll be long gone by then.
She's got just fucking the most like just scrunched, sour, toxic little smirk on her face. Just every little jab you poke at her, she just well, don't let me keep you.
I never will
She
again.
begins fiddling with the fucking sword and struggling to get these ropes cut. Definitely looks unnatural.
I think if it was like we kind of tied her wrist together so she could, finagle a way to cut it.
Yeah.
Oh, goodbye, Amelia.
I don't think she even says a word to you as she continues just sawing with the sword between her ankles, basically, and trying to get the ropes cut.
Yeah.
As we're walking away, I'm going to yell out, "Oh, if you see a berry that's oozing something blue, they're good to eat. They'll keep you full for the night." How I got by.
That might actually help her.
And then I whispered, "It actually gives you really bad diarrhea, so
Roll
I learned that the first night."
Thank you, Barnaby.
That is a 15.
15. All right. You just hear her like cursing under her breath as she's sawing the ropes. She doesn't acknowledge you.
As we're walking away, I'll kind of pull away from the group just into the back. I'll cast Standing really quick, quietly. I'd like to keep it private, but... Oh, to the gatekeeper, sorry. I'd say, I'd like to keep it private, but... We are approaching Feral, a couple hours out. I'm in the Feywild right now. If you still want to talk today, just... let me know.
I think as you send this message and you begin kind of walking, waiting for the reply, you kind of glance just absently off into the forest, off to your left, and you can see one of the trees twists towards you and blinks as this giant eye just just like unfolds and then closes back into a knot. It's like glittering golden, almost like a wolf's eye. And the reply you would get would be, "You seem like you've been walking for a while. We can talk tomorrow after you've had some rest. Or in a few days, as I suppose it will be."
I'll just say, like, if you've been watching, that woman is the one I want you to keep an eye on. If she does die before we can talk, then there won't be much to talk about.
You see the tree behind you kind of slowly like lean. You hear like the shifting of branches behind you. And you look back, you see that tree like leaning out towards the road so that the eye can still see you. And it like winks or blinks, I guess.
Yeah, I can't discern blinking or blinking with one eye.
And then you just see it lean back into the fold of the forest beside the path. So,
She doesn't respond.
no. Well, was that ascending or was that a?
That was ascending. I've restocked those today because it's a new
I
day.
thought you were just saying it out loud.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, those were sending spells. I was not
Got
clear.
it. Well, she's just being cheeky then.
Okay.
Um,
I don't know what I'm to take from that, but I'll assume it means she knows what's going on. So
she's present. She's aware. Let's get one last con save for the final hour of Forced March.
Whee!
Barnaby does not have to make it, but Aloran does, since she is carrying him as a horse.
Hey, another nat 20.
When after the whole thing
is
with
your target target number.
after the whole thing with that, I'll as a horse 'cause I
19.
can't speak. I'll kind of like nudge Dodo, just kind of check in on him, type of thing.
He like pats your nose.
I got a 19.
Hey!
Success.
19 plus 3, so 22.
Anything under 14.
I
What was that?
failed.
Oh no, Burberry has an exhaustion.
Slowbury.
So yeah, you guys spent 12 hours walking today, 4 hours out to the forest, and another 8 through the Feywild. It has been a long day of travel, but with the Waylight's assistance, you make it to Farrell. It is probably about midnight by the time you step out of the forest. And David, as the bearer of the Waylight, would you do the honor of rolling a d6, I believe it is?
Horse.
Come on, roll low.
6.
Oh, 6. Okay.
Your dice are just doing the opposite of what they should be today.
Clearly.
So from 34 to the 40th. Yeah. So you guys would find yourselves emerging from the forests of Farrell at the edge of the village of Gladham, the town of Gladham. And wherever it is that you're bunking for the night would be able to tell you, like, yeah, it is the 40th today. Then a clock chimes. 41st.
Oh, there's actually a thing I wanted to do in Farrell. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I remembered.
And Lauren, I probably should have mentioned this earlier, but there was stuff happening in the Feywild. But at some point during your walk through the Feywild, you would have received a sending spell.
Ooh.
And it would have been very, like, distorted sounding and kind of, like, weirdly pitched. It's like somebody, like, fast-forwarded the message on, like, an old video cassette tape. It's kind of squeaky sounding. But it's basically what you're able to pull out of it is Lauren, your amulets are ready. If you're ready to pick them up, if you could please come by the Fort Franco. Like, that's the most you're really able to pick out.
Okay.
So, you would know. The ambulance approving its detection location that you commissioned were finished at some point.
Sweet.
I think I told Saren about them.
Okay.
And I think roughly when they'd be available. So.
Okay.
We got more sendings if you need them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Would you have responded to that sending?
Yeah, because I remember I told Saren that there was more on the way.
Okay.
So maybe I would respond and be like, I'm having a friend named Saren pick them up.
Okay.
Then maybe ask Noelle to send to Saren and
Sure.
let her know that the amulet's already at the blah blah blah.
I can do that.
You want to do that in the Feywild or after you leave?
I think after we leave, once we get out,
Yeah.
just in case. Well, I got it, but I don't know if it'll be hard for her to understand.
So, you guys are on Feral, and it is the 41st of the month. I think that's probably a good spot to call it. You guys find an inn somewhere in town to bunk up for the night. Pencil.
Oh.
So,
I'll probably joke with that, but I'll be like, I can just stay at your place. Your dad won't mind.
Good old Dadlar.
Dadlar. Yeah, no, I think I'd call him Dadlar, honestly, in front of Dadlar.
Gimlamine.
What?
His name is Gimlamine.
It's Dadlar.
Okay.
Well, for RP points, I think everyone's getting RP points. Do we have an MVP for the session? Do we need to vote for MVP?
No,
It's Noelle. Hands
Yeah,
down.
that makes sense.
No. No.
Thank you, guys.
So take your 2 RP points to well. And for successfully navigating the extent of the Quartermensch arc, we are now level 8.
Oh
Yay!
That's exciting.
John's getting action shirt. Woo!
Oh, John's getting action surge. He's not getting ASI.
Yep, that's what I just said.
no! Oh god. This level, my AC becomes 21.
Oof.
Because that's what you want, the party cleric.
Yeah. Do we want to roll for hit points now?
Sure, why not?
Got a little extra time, why not?
Is it D8 for?
For Druid, it is going to be D8. I'm pretty sure it's a D8 for everyone except for John, who's taking a fighter level for a D10.
Did you get
I
it?
rolled a 7.
And then we add our con modifier.
Yeah, as your con modifier.
I got another D8 for I'm going officer level 2.
Yeah, everyone's taking D8s except for John.
I got
So I
it.
got
max.
5.
I got
I
12.
was at 6 plus 2. So 8.
I got 7 plus 2.
So
I got 8 plus 4, 12.
what is everybody's new total?
I'm going to be so squishy.
65 for Lauren,
Barnaby has 95.
95 for Barnaby.
John is at 110.
Jesus.
Big boy.
61 for Burberry.
Okay.
54 for little old me.
I
I got
squishy.
I got over
Five.
50 this session. Whee!
I could breathe on you and you'd go out.